Good evening, everyone. This is Gregor. Welcome to the stream. And today it's going to be a bit different than usual because I just realized that I've never actually streamed a point and click game, which is what we'll be doing today with the Dig, which you can't actually see because it's behind the webcam. But well, yeah, I kind of needed something shorter, a bit more familiar, less exploration heavy than Breath of the Wild. I kind of need a small detox of maybe like 1 or 2 streams before we go on to Chrono Cross probably. And I guess this is kind of like as familiar as they get for me. Oh, it's actually like very loud. It's like the problem with this game. It always starts out with like preset options, and I'm not actually sure how to make them stick, if that makes any sense. But yeah, before we begin, this is a 1995. I said 1996 yesterday on stream, and that was a mistake. It's a 1995 point-and-click adventure game from LucasArts, the people that kind of gave us the Monkey Island games and Grim Fandango and Full Throttle, Day of the Tentacle. Probably if you were alive at the time, you have played one of these games. They were kind of like a big thing back in the day. Mainly because there was like adventure games were like a lot more popular back then, for one. And there was like kind of like this rivalry going, kind of like EA versus Activision, or like Sega versus Nintendo, and so on and so forth, where it's like LucasArts versus Sierra Games, and they had like two very, very different takes on the whole point and click adventure thing. Personally, I think LucasArts kind of became a bit more entrenched than Sierra ever did. Mainly because their adventure games always were like a bit more approachable and kind of like more friendly looking. No, that's not to say that the Sierra adventure games were bad. I love a lot of those 2 bits as well. But I think the reason that LucasArts kind of like won at the end, if you can call that winning, since they both kind of like went off to do different things and eventually kind of got eaten up by other companies. But yeah, I think the reason they kind of like won was that their puzzles were like a lot more logically consistent, or at least a bit more logically consistent, not really that much, because we are talking about Monkey Island 3, for example, where you actually had to get hair off of a dog in order to make a hangover cure, because the hint was that you need something of the dog that bit you, which actually is in English is kind of a euphemism of like, if you want to cure your hangover, you need to drink more the next day. But they kind of like did the literal thing, which was funny. But yeah, Sierra games always tended to have like a bit more like trial and error and a lot more dying. Like, actually, I don't think that outside of Maniac Mansion, LucasArts ever did the whole you can kind of like die or lock yourself out of like being able to progress. But yeah, so yeah, let me. It's like still so loud. Wow. Let me just like try and like put it all the way out here. See if that works any better. Yeah, okay. I think this is like kind of like better. Let me know if it needs a bit more like lowering down. I think it does actually. Let me. Wow, it's like so loud. There we go. So yeah, to kind of like set the stage before the game begins, this is The Dig. It's a sci-fi point-and-click adventure
Course I
game.
miss you, darling.
That kind of, oh my god, everything needs rebalancing. Wow. It's like a sci-fi point-and-click adventure game that came from the people that did Day of the Tentacle and Full Throttle and the Minecraft games, like the teams that did those, not like the actual like project leads. This is, I believe, rumored to have been initially made as a movie treatment.
Darling, I got some work to do.
By Steven Spielberg, which you might kind of like recognize a few of the kind of like wide shots that we will be seeing in a little while as being kind of like a signature of his.
Get on in here, Pete.
So yeah, we start out with
on a 3-week collision course
an astronomical observatory in Borneo where people discovered that there's a giant asteroid that's heading towards Earth. And yeah, this was like a few years before Armageddon came out, so this game definitely has like the idea of it first.
The asteroid has been named Attila, after the war leader of the Huns,
let me just like
who devastated Europe just before the fall of the Roman Empire. Attila was first spotted in a tracking station in Borneo. According to NASA sources, the probability of impact with Earth is 99%.
Oh, yes, it is.
5, 4, ignition, 2, 1.
It's like such a
The shuttle is up and away.
it's like a dramatic.
This is not a mission the shuttle was designed for.
Intro. Hey, Rooks, we'll talk about this in a bit. Let's just like enjoy the.
If the shuttle is the last hope of the human race, then it'll have to do the job, won't it? Wait a minute, folks. Let me introduce the landing team. Ludger Brink is a noted geologist. He'll evaluate our data on placement of the nuclear devices.
Can we just like pause it for a moment? Here's like the most interesting thing about this game. It actually did try to have like a scientific background. In that I understand like a lot of details were kind of sourced from NASA itself. And like the whole idea of like bringing specialists on, and you will meet them in a little bit. They are actually, if you Google it, you can actually see that they are actual positions, and there are actual like job descriptions for those positions in like real life.
We have to be accurate. The idea isn't to blow Attila to bits. If we did, some of the pieces would certainly hit Earth with devastating effect.
Yep, this guy is voiced by Steve Blum.
To you. She's probably
I think he's probably the most well-known of the cast. You've probably like seen him like a bunch of movies.
You're famous for having once said that you never put up with censorship in any form. Now you're under NASA command.
Miss Robbins is a reporter by vocation, but on this mission she's...
I think I can answer the question myself, Commander Lowe. Danny, I trained for this
I just
mission,
like
and I have
love
work to
the
do in laying the
like the
nuclear
character
trenches.
dynamics here.
When I come
like
home,
in
I'll be a
this like
reporter
2
and
minutes.
tell
Sorry,
you
I'm just like
all
pausing
about
again.
it.
In this like 2-minute intro, you get to see how well all of the characters interact. You can kind of see like Brink kind of being a bit of an attention seeker. Like he's in it for the glory. You kind of want to see how Maggie Robbins kind of wants to assert herself as being more than just like a journalist, that she actually has like linguistics credentials and she wants to be recognized for them in the mission. You can see like how Boston Lowe is kind of like a control freak about the whole thing, and it kind of all within the first 5 minutes kind of like spirals out of his control. It's like such an amazingly well written intro.
I will obey Commander Lowe like any good...
That may be the biggest news story of all. Maggie Robbins obeys orders.
In going over your bios, I find that Professor Brink is also a noted archaeologist, while it's well known that Maggie is a prodigy at learning new languages. Is this just coincidence?
Not at all. We wanted the best and the brightest for this mission. Dr. Brink and Ms. Robbins are not narrow specialists. They are resourceful, widely educated, and creative thinkers.
Does that apply to you too, Commander Lowe?
My job is to keep everybody alive.
Also, yeah, the graphics may be kind of like pixelated here, but remember, this was like 1995, and for that time, a lot of the stuff is actually 3D rendered, like the space shuttle itself and Attila, the asteroid, are both like I believe they were like rendered in Maya at the time. But yeah, as you see, like they take like they get a lot of mileage out of all the 3D work that has gone into this.
Gordon is the most experienced shuttle pilot we have. Cora Miles is our payload specialist. As you all know, she's a candidate for Congress, but we figured saving the planet is more important.
It is like started as a movie, and it's like such a nice framing device as well. See, you get like jokes, you get like a bit of serious talk, you get like the back and forth between the actual mission and the press conference that happened before.
We've got to do it right.
It's such a well-paced thing, and yes, it does seem like a movie script. But in all the good ways, it has like very, very, very well like made pacing, I guess. That's like to find the graphics impressive. I wouldn't call the graphics impressive, but certainly the art direction, the way it's all presented, that's amazing. Like, let's call it the cinematography is very well executed here. The placement of the camera, the cuts between like the various events, the back and forth, and like the voiceover of the press conference and so on and so forth. Like this shot where like the shuttle kind of opens and you can see Attila in the background, based on a concept by Steven Spielberg. There we go. That's the the usual like folk story here is that this started life as I think I can pause as well, right? Yeah. So yeah, this kind of like started life as a movie treatment that Steven Spielberg was trying to get the funding for, and it was determined that the scope was kind of too big for a 1995 movie, or like 1993, 1994. I'm not sure exactly. It's kind of like one of those things that everyone knows about, but no one is like certain about. But the popular story kind of goes that he tried getting funding for it, he couldn't do it, and then George Lucas or like Steven Spielberg were kind of like, hey, why don't we make this a game instead? Where like the budget is gonna be like way lower, and then we've got people that can do that. And yeah, this is, I guess, a bit like a unique type of sci-fi, because it's not like it's not like hard sci-fi, because while there are a lot of like technical details, it never actually tries to kind of like sweat the more fantastical elements that we're gonna see in a little bit, because this is a game where at some point in a bit you find yourself in an alien homeworld where you have no idea how anything works, and the game very seldomly tries to explain that. But you can see here that the fantasy, the sci-fi elements are kind of like well defined and well explained. Like you get an explanation of what that machinery is in the middle of the screen, which is called the pig. There are hard sci-fi elements here, but then there's the other bits, like kind of like the more fantasy side of it, but that's also not kind of like too prominent in itself, because there are some explanations, but the game kind of like hand waves the more fantastical elements that you can see later on. So this is kind of like a weird middle ground, but weird in a good way, because the writing and the way it's been shot kind of makes it work. I mean, as a game, it's not very unique. Like the premise of like getting marooned on an alien homeworld is like a lot of games that came before this that had the same basic idea of some people from Earth kind of getting marooned there. I believe it's like
I'll be careful, Commander.
in the same year that the
Brink here,
Rama
going
came
independent.
out. I like need to check this out though, because I might be talking out of my ass. Let's see, Rama game.
Howdy, Brink.
Let's see.
Welcome
It
to the
came
place where
oh,
geology and
96. Sorry, it's like a year after this. And it was kind of like an FMV adventure. It's like
Professor
another
once told
amazing
me,
adventure game. And if I ever,
archaeologists with
if I ever
clean hands
manage
and
to
a squint.
find where they sell it, I'm gonna stream that as well.
You going to quote him on that in some magazine, Robbins?
Also, Rooks, I'm very sorry I'm monologuing, but I am
just part of the
very
landing
much in
team
love
right
with
now,
this game, and I
Commander Lo.
really want to talk about it. What game? Rama, a 1996 FMV first-person adventure game based on a... Well, actually, it's kind of like based on a series of novels, I think, by Robert C. Clarke, I think. Let me check. Arthur C. Clarke, sorry. Whoops. So it's basically like a... It's basically like the same premise. Like, in the near future, an unidentified object comes from the sun towards Earth, and they send some, like, astronauts to explore and, like, research it. But while in this case it's a meteorite, in that case it's actually a spaceship, a giant cylindrical spaceship that's probably like half the size of Earth. And like I'm just like giving you a synopsis on the book, by the way, which is amazing, and you should totally read the first one, which is called Rendezvous with Rama. So basically, like, the whole premise is that there's like a giant unidentified spaceship that comes from outside the solar system, and when Earth sends some people to research it, it kind of like activates, and they have to find a way off of it before it goes. And like the whole premise is that inside the cylinder there's like an entire continent on the inner walls of the spaceship. It's kind of like it's like a kind of like a cylinder, and like on like the inner surface of like the entire cylinder there's like rivers and countries and stuff like that. It's also kind of like the same type of sci-fi. It's like the marooned on a hostile or like on alien ground archetype, and it is totally worth it. And there are like other games like what's it called? It's like a game called Albion that was like in '93 that kind of had like a similar like mechanic, I guess, of like getting marooned on a different world, although that was kind of like an RPG, so not exactly like The Dig. So what I'm saying is that The Dig doesn't really jump out to the player due to the originality, but mostly due to the presentation. It's like such a well put together game. Like, yeah, you have like the inventory, but like aside from other LucasArts games of the time, they actually had the foresight of making the inventory transparent so it doesn't like get in the way. You can still see exactly what's going on behind you. So yeah, here we are. We are on a mission to go bomb the hell out of Attila. And to do that, we will use what was like definitely a 1995 fad, the... well, this is like a take on like PDAs called like a penultimate. It's kind of like a little fun in-joke here, I guess. But yeah, it's a communication device that's kind of like a PDF. So with this, we can kind of radio in with everyone else on the ship.
Miles, this is Low. Do you read?
Yeah, Boston, I'm on you.
You wish.
In your dreams.
So yeah, see this dialogue here? Like this like synchronized quipping that they have with one another. This kind of builds up on like what they very briefly mention in the press conference at the start, that I think her name is Cora, right? And like Boston, the protagonist, are kind of got like history together.
Ready for the deployment of the
like they're friends. They're friend like on friendly terms with one another. They know one
Is
another.
the crew clear of the area?
And the game actually forces you to go through that PDF, which is a major it's like a major mechanic of the game later on, because that's like one of the very few ways you get like hints later on from Maggie and what's his name, Brink, and you are kind of like forced to use it here so you can release the pig, which is what you need to go blow up the asteroid.
Everything fine with the pig, Cora?
Yep.
Looking sweet, Boston. You just be good to my baby.
So yeah, this little sequence introduces us to the inventory as well. I think there's like a way to examine stuff. Oh yeah, there we go.
It's the arming key for the explosives.
And this is like probably the one thing that I never really liked about this, is that you need to use a specific inventory item. It's not actually an item, it's a function, but you don't actually physically carry a magnifying glass with you around the game. But it was one of the little things that I didn't like about the game, is that you should have been able to kind of like right click on an item to examine it instead, but the right click is kind of the toggle that shows and hides the inventory. So yeah, let me just like catch up with Rooks to find the graphics impressive. Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, as a whole, yeah, I mean, there's like definitely also shots that are very impressive, like the shot of like the cargo base of the shuttle kind of opening, and you can see how big Attila is in the background. That's also kind of like an impressively shot angle. Like the angles here, the backgrounds, the way everything is placed, like the antithesis of colors. Like you can't actually see it here, but once you get to the first chapter of the game, there are like a lot of contrasting color palettes in the game. And while this seems bad, it actually helps important things pop out to the player, which is like one important thing. And also it makes every area like feel visually distinct, because your brain goes, yeah, I'm in the red area, and like the red area was like the fountain, or like the blue area, which was the crystal storage, and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's a very visually competent game. That's kind of like high praise considering how much games of that time were a bit busy and didn't really know what to do with like all the visual elements. Like I was talking about Sierra earlier, and like one of the things I never liked about the Sierra games, especially like King's Quest and like I guess Space Quest, was how busy everything was, and with no good reason. But just like the artist wanted to throw a few things in there, and no one told him or her, please stop. So like in King's Quest, I guess what's like 4 or 5? Which one was here today, gone tomorrow? I think it's like 4, right? You get to like the King Graham's castle, and you see like this weird like gaudy tapestries over like grayish brick, and it just clashes so much. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel like a cohesive whole. Plus, you know, you have like King Graham himself in like the first 5 games, I think. It's like in a few games you play as like Roselia and like his son, like Prince Alexander. And I think in one game you play as his wife, but I'm not actually sure about that. It's been like a very long time since I've played those. But yeah, you get like King Graham, and he's got like his red tunic and his like blue hat and like his brown pants, and he just clashes with everything. Sorry, that was like a little rant. I do love Sierra adventure games almost as much as LucasArts ones. Although I've never actually played any Sierra game that I enjoyed as much as I enjoyed the Dig, so... So let's see. We started the tutorial part. Feels like a tutorial. I mean, yeah. think most modern point and clicks are just interact. Look, I mean, yeah. I haven't played a lot of the more modern ones because I tend to dislike the writing in them. I made the mistake of playing the first Deponia, which everyone apparently loves, and I was like, oh my god, can you please stop trying to emulate Monkey Island so much? There's like at least like 5 of the jokes in there were kind of like Guybrush but on a trash planet instead of in a pirate universe kind of thing, and I just like hated it. I hated it so much. Rufus is such a stupid character, such an insensitive jerk, and I get the feeling that the only way he's been written as that is because Guybrush Threepwood kind of did the same thing but more incompetently. So yeah, Rufus for me feels like, what if Guybrush Threepwood was more competent? And yes, Drogeljack, that too. Let's not talk about Drogeljack, please. But Rufus to me kind of felt like the writer decided that what if Guybrush was less of a bumbling fool and more of like just an asshole? And I'm pretty sure that's kind of like supposed to be the joke, but it's still not a good joke. And to me, he just like kind of like grated against my nerves. Made you nauseous to play that with the Drogeljack mode. I mean, you get like a good use of the skip button, except in like some puzzles where you can actually skip anything, but in cutscenes. But also, yeah, I would like to show off for just a moment. Give me a sec, because that needs like a big webcam. I just got like a gift today, and I'm like very happy with it. It's like a small thermos from Nespresso, which is a maker of like coffee machines. So the missus kind of thought to get me like an early kind of like present kind of thing. I just like love these things. I love thermoses. I tend to be very slow about drinking my warm coffee, and this kind of keeps it going warm for hours, and I'm like very happy with that. Also, it's kind of like very like sturdy designs, kind of like very thick metal. I just like love that. I didn't play like Simon. I mean, I didn't play through the entire Simon the Sorceress thing. Yes, Rufus is just like ultra narcissistic, and aside of that, he's also just like literally in a lot of cases going out of his way to ruin shit just because he can. Like the part where he gets what's her name's memory chip and actively sands it over with a rusty toothbrush. Because why? Because like all the other things that were like just within arm's reach that he could clean it with, he couldn't get because they were in his inventory at the time. That's just like lazy writing, and it's like I get very steamed up about that game. I hate it. I've played through it twice and I hate it. I can't see like what everyone else is saying about it. So, but the absolute donkey is this. Hey Tuma, this is The Dig. This is the best sci-fi movie you've never seen. Except it's not a movie, it's a game. So yeah, let's see.
Robbins, this is Low.
Let me just like showcase a bit the dialogue system. So the way the dialogues worked in like earlier LucasArts games was to kind of like get lines to select from. But in this game, you get icons, and the icons kind of represent topics of discussion. This wasn't a very successful or popular design decision, so they kind of like went back with it for was like the next one is like probably Monkey Island in 97, or like Day of the Tentacle in 96, I want to say. I'm not actually sure, but yeah, they went back to actual, you know, sentences as dialogue options instead of icons. But it's kind of interesting. You can kind of like ask about like a lot of things, and because you get icons about them, I think it fits with the game because you never really know what everything you're saying is. Like, okay, not here, but after this chapter, anything that you see, you don't have like a concrete idea of what it is, right? You're like on an alien planet, everything is alien, it should feel alien, so you don't have like dialogue options, you have icons which represent the things that you've seen. It's kind of nice.
What do you think of our archaeologist, Brink?
Also, it's not nice to gossip next to the people you're gossiping with.
Experience.
About, sorry.
He headed the U.S. Geological Survey team that mapped the surface of Venus.
He'll be taking a close look at the asteroid to make certain the detonation points they've chosen are suitable.
But yeah, the dialogue kind of also hints that we need Brink's help in order to place the nuclear devices.
You may write all kinds of deep intellectual stuff, Robbins, but I'll bet your paper runs a picture of the explosions on the front page.
We always lead with pictures of car crashes and explosions, or people like you will never pick up the paper.
And yeah, like look at this dialogue. It's so perfectly encapsulating like the antagonism between like Boston Low. He's the...
I've logged 100 hours working with every tool in the pig, Commander Lowe.
Yep. It like perfectly encapsulates the antagonism that Boston Low and Maggie Robbins kind of feel towards one another. Mainly, it's shown that he's kind of wary of her kind of like rebellious streak, and also he's generally, I believe, not well disposed towards journalists because of something or another. I think there's hints of that in like dialogue later on if you kind of like take the time to look for it. But yeah, she's also kind of like got a problem with authority figures, so she immediately doesn't like Boston, and he's also kind of representative of like the militaristic
Everything okay
style,
with
I guess. It's like so
as
nice.
Far as I can see, Commander.
You don't need like that much dialogue, but you can totally get the like the gist of things. And then aside from like the topics that you can use, there's also always the option to ask a question or say something profound, which is usually something sillier. These two are kind of like, the question is like, what should I be doing now? And like the profound thing is something silly, I guess.
Have you looked up at the Earth yet, Robbins?
Oh, is that big blue thing the Earth?
Some people get vertigo when they realize that they're hanging upside down 200 miles over the ocean.
Do some of them throw up? Is that what you want me to do?
I thought it was something you might want to write about.
I actually had a pretty good career as a writer before I had you to think up ideas for me, Commander.
Uh-huh. Antagonism. So, Tuma, how are we doing today? How's it going? I'm sorry for...
anything juicy for your first article?
Just like gushing about this game all the time.
I'm not writing my article right now, Commander Lowe.
This is all pretty dull so far, Robbins. I hope you can find something interesting for your lead.
Commander Lowe, am I doing something wrong?
No, I'm just trying to be friendly.
Ooh, and you're failing.
And I'm trying to be a good crew member. Can't you forget for even 1 second that I'm a reporter?
Just want to make sure you're having a wonderful time, Robbins.
Boston Lowe is
I'm
a jerk.
very, very happy, Commander Lowe.
I just want you to be happy, Robbins. So you'll write nice things about us.
I'm very, very happy, Commander Lowe.
I hope you're still happy, Robbins.
I'm very, very happy, Commander Lowe.
I'm about to kill you, Commander Lowe. So yeah, basically, like I'll be trying to do like as much of the dialogue as possible, but
I'm taking the pig down to the surface. Follow me.
Because like most of the dialogue is kind of like front-loaded at the game. After this bit, you very seldomly get into dialogues with everyone.
Blowout.
Remember when you played this game, even when understanding what they say didn't catch hostile? Yeah, you know, like the first time I played this, I was like a lot younger than now, so I didn't like really like catch all like the inflection that they had with one another, like the "I'm very, very happy, Commander Lowe." Like, shut up, you jerk.
Borden? Come in, Borden. I'm here, boss.
So he's like the payload specialist. He's the guy that's responsible for the
Give us
nukes.
the go-ahead on the explosives, Ken. Plant Alpha charge in Quadrant 2. Make sure you get it on a level surface so Attila blows in the right direction.
So yeah, the idea here is that we're supposed to place 2 nuclear devices on the surface of Attila, so that the explosion will slightly nudge it off course so it doesn't slam into the Earth.
Are we in position, Ken? Attila's given us less gravity than I expected, but the attitude jets are compensating. You're saying Attila is less massive than we expected?
There's like actually a nice hint hidden in here.
Hey, maybe Attila's nothing but a big old bubble. How do we know what's inside an asteroid?
So it is like the first hint that something isn't right with Attila, because it doesn't appear to be as dense as it should be, because here's the hint, it doesn't affect the gravity around the shuttle, or like the gravitational pull around the shuttle as much. It should be pulling towards it should be pulling the shuttle towards the surface of Attila, but it doesn't have enough mass and density. So this is like a very, very artfully hidden hint about what's about to happen, and I'm gonna be honest, the first 2 or 3 times that I played this, I didn't catch up on it. I didn't catch this. Have 2 people taking care of the shuttle. Yeah, you've got like Ken Borden and Cora, what's her name? Like the tool specialist.
Let me know if you notice something that would change your
that are like left back on the shuttle.
Sure thing, boss. Right now, Attila's sleeping like a baby. Reading a good book while we're working hard? Watch it, boss. I could leave without you. Yeah, but you'd miss me, Ken.
I guess.
Low out. Load a payload, over.
Miles here.
How's the pig?
Just fine, Boston, but still a little stuffed.
So yeah, it's actually the other hint that you actually need to open the pig up to get the gear that you need.
Taking a grand tour before you get to the target site, Boston?
How's the congressional campaign going without you?
Well, my opponent is demanding equal time in space.
With or without a suit?
Just don't screw up the mission, Boston, and I'll be in Congress next January.
Yep, political. I never really understood like the need to like get all this backstory in the game. Like, it doesn't offer the character anything. Like that she's actually also a politician that is running for Congress.
I just want you to know you've got my vote, Cora.
Only if you move to Mississippi, Boston.
I just want you to know you've got my vote.
And yeah, you get like a few like repeats here as well.
Maybe if somebody helps you figure out the levers.
Hey, Vino, welcome. How's it going? How are we doing today? I mean, I'm sure there's like a bunch of like decent one-liners, but considering that this character you never get to see in like 10 minutes from now, ever again, it just feels like a lot of unnecessary work just to get like a few political jokes in there.
Oh, I've already got the aging astronaut boat locked up.
I just want you to know.
There's like so many of them actually too. Look at that. It's like we're like the
and
6th one.
I haven't even paid you your dollar yet.
And still going.
You know you've got my vote, Cora.
Actually, like skip.
Just don't tell anyone else, Boston. It might cost me the election. It's no use, Boston. I'm not gonna make you head of NASA. You can vote for me 20 times, Boston, and I still won't marry you.
Yeah, I've never actually tried to like go through the entire dialogue here.
I bet you say that to all the candidates.
Ah, author needed somewhere to vent. Yeah, I guess maybe they did.
Does this mean you've forgiven me for putting a leak in your catheter on your first launch?
I just
I was like, how many of them are there?
Well, ain't you sweet?
Oh yeah, that was the last one.
I'll miss you when I can't take you with me on missions like this.
Don't get sentimental on me, Boston. Besides, there won't be any more missions like this.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Oh.
Yep, that's it. So you can actually also try to talk to Brink and Maggie, but they will just tell you why the hell are you trying to do this while
Hello to Brink. Come in, Brink.
here.
I read you, Lo. What is it?
They can also discuss this.
What do you think of our star reporter? Very unorthodox, bringing a reporter on a space mission.
Well,
but
she's
she
not
is
just a
very
reporter.
capable, and she writes interesting stories. The explosive charges haven't been bumped or anything, have they, Brink?
So how are we doing today now? How's it going?
Alpha charge and beta charge are both doing fine, Commander.
Keep an eye on the pig, okay? Don't want it drifting off into space.
I travel all this way, and I end up
Well,
as
yeah,
a
in this
swine
case you need
herder.
to use a PDA.
Are you
But
getting a
when
good look at the asteroid, Brink?
when we're at the next part of the game, if you try
I've
to use the
hardly looked
PDA
at
while you're
anything else,
next to them, they kind of go, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, that's. Well, I'm pretty sure Maggie does, but I don't remember if Brink does
No one
because,
has ever been this
well,
close to an
you'll
asteroid
see
before,
why.
Commander. I cannot possibly know
Heavy
what is
machinery
usual
down the
or
hall. Wait,
unusual.
what? Wait, last I spoke with you, aside from that stream yesterday, you were still at home,
Is there anything that
being
should make us
quarantined.
reconsider
I
the
think.
placement of the charges?
Did they start construction next to your place, next to your
The
new
original
place?
choice of quadrant seems adequate, Commander.
Blow out.
Yeah, I don't think we need to exhaust all of those dialogues, and I think the reason that there are a bit too many of them here is that because it's one of the very few cases where dialogue happens. This is a very solitary game, so to speak. There isn't. It's a lot of the time Boston Low kind of is very much just by himself. Yeah, we get some tools. Love the little American flag here. And now we have more items. Got an
It's the
arming
arming key for the explosives.
No longer quarantined. Oh, okay. Fair enough. They're renovating one of the... Ooh, that sucks.
Standard issue flashlight.
I hope they're done with it soon.
It's like a jackhammer, but for space. Regulation NASA pocket shovel. Every astronaut should have one.
Oh yeah, and you can also examine things that are outside the inventory if you
Looks like the pig is in place to monitor the explosions.
Yep. So let's see, it was quadrant 2 and 3, I think, right? Kind of go out and it's 2 here and 3 here, right? So yeah, in one of them you need to use the shovel to remove the big stone thingy. It's the target surface. Yeah, and unfortunately one of the things that this game did do, you can totally talk to Brink to kind of confirm where you need to place everything, but
Brink here.
there is a lot of pixel hunting in this game, unfortunately.
Explosive charges haven't been bumped or anything, have they, Brink?
Yeah, it's the same.
Blow out.
If you speak with
Robbins.
Maggie, it's kind
Come
of
in,
the same
Robbins.
thing. She kind of
This is
repeats
Robin.
this. I don't think they expected anyone to kind of try and talk to them more
out.
than once. So yeah, what we actually need to do is come here.
It's where explosive alpha should be placed.
Although if you do try to place explosive alpha, he will tell you that it's not
The ground's too rough to attach the charge.
Yep. So what we actually need to do. I'm not gonna be like examining everything because I kind of like know where most of these things can kind of like work together. But it's kind of like a nice look into like what type of puzzle we'll be solving mostly.
Nice and smooth now.
Because basically it's just like observational puzzles and kind of like a few pattern recognition kind of things.
We're placing the explosive in quadrant 2.
Acknowledged.
Could you give me a hand with this, Brink?
I'll be right there, Commander Lowe.
I think a lot of people were making reforms because of this.
Excellent
Wait, what?
work, Brink.
Oh, renovations, you know.
Ken, the charge is set.
Okay.
Instruments confirmed. Hey, I'm just so proud of you boys.
I love the dialogue in this game. And then, of course, we also have to arm it.
Look at the pretty red light, boys and girls. I'd say this charge is armed.
Yep. And on to the second one. So yeah, this is like one of the things that LucasArts games kind of like did very often, is that they have like zoomed out maps for like a bunch of it, and they would show your character in like a teeny tiny sprite going across the thing. My favorite one is probably Monkey Island 2, where you're like in Melee Island and there's like this huge map of it, and there's like this teeny tiny Guybrush going around like the jungles and stuff, and at some point you have to bump into other pirates to kind of like challenge them to like sword fights. 3 pixels Guybrush, yes. So yeah, in the second location there's a big boulder on the way.
Cora,
so
Ken, I'm jamming the shovel in under the boulder, then using maximum down thrust to pry it up. Does that sound workable?
Well, I'm a little short on data about the tensile strength of shovel handles in 0G under maximum thrust conditions.
Aha, a science joke.
In other words, who knows? Might work.
Boss, be careful. If the handle breaks, maximum down thrust will smash you right into Attila. You know the saying, whether the stone hits the glass or the glass hits the stone, it ain't gonna hurt the stone.
Is that actually like a saying though? I've always wondered.
Thanks for the encouragement, Ken. Brink, if this actually works, the boulder's going to come flying straight at you. Better fly clear.
Thanks for the warning.
Looks like it worked.
Now, aren't you glad I made sure the tool chest had a shovel in it? My rule is, if you can pick it up, take it with you.
This is like important advice for point-and-click games.
I have the same rule, Cora, but I thought it only applied to women in bars.
Oh no.
If you can pick her up.
Careful, Ken. You don't want to find yourself getting quoted as a sexist pig in Maggie's article.
I'm not here to spy on you.
Lighten up, Robbins. They're just teasing you.
Yep. This joke wouldn't be in a modern game, and probably rightfully so.
Freely on the open frequency.
Don't remember if we need to flatten this one as well. I think we do.
No need. The target's ready for the explosive charge.
Okay.
Shuttle, this is low. Now placing the explosive on the face of the asteroid in quadrant 3.
Acknowledged.
I need another hand here, Brink.
Of course, Commander.
Of course, Commander. It's kind of funny. The guy that voices Brink is probably like one of the more well-known voice actors in like video games. I think I had like his IMDb page open at some point. Give me a moment. Steve Blum. Yes. Steve Blum. You might have heard of that name. He's been in a lot of stuff. And I'm like talking about a lot of stuff. He has 782 actor credits.
This asteroid has a pair of landing lights now.
He's done everything from anime to 3D animation to games to
Who writes your material,
so much stuff. So let's like take it from the bottom a little bit. Like see if there's like any games we recognize in here. It's like a bunch of anime. That's one thing. He also made a voice for Akira, the 1988 anime you may have heard of, for like the English dub. Yeah, the first time he actually posted content. Like, it's kind of like nice that you can see, like, as the game goes, they kind of like get more comfortable with one another. So he also voiced Sid in Full Throttle. He, well, it's like a lot of anime. Wow. He's actually done work in like the Ghost in the Shell movie. Yeah, he's in The Dig. It's actually one of his earlier game roles. Just like trying to see, because I'm pretty sure he's been in like a lot of games. X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, Afterlife, which is kind of like, again, LucasArts games. We may have a look at Afterlife at some point. I think it's on GOG, so I would probably want to look into it eventually. Let's see. Star Wars Jedi Knight game, Star Wars Rebellion game, Quest for Glory 5. Oh, which one? Afterlife. It was a contemporary of this game, having come out in, I think, 96 or 97. And it was kind of a comedy theme hospital, but instead of a hospital, you had heaven and hell. It's kind of like a SimCity, but running hell and heaven. That kind of like sells it, and it's also comedic. It isn't like that good of a game, unfortunately, but it was unique for its time. So let's see what else. Force Commander, another Star Wars game. Still more anime. Throne of Darkness is a game I've never actually heard of. Also Phase Paradox. I have no idea what that is. It's like a PS2 game. I never actually had a PS2, so that might be the problem. Return to Castle Wolfenstein. And then as we go like further up, it's like more and more games. Medal of Honor Allied Assault, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. Neverwinter Nights. Oh, he actually voices Dalen Red Tiger in that one. He's like the monk party member from LucasArts 2. Yes, it's from LucasArts 2. It is not a good game if you're planning to actually play through it. It's interesting, but not a good game. So I wouldn't like go like buying it if I were you, honestly. I mean, unless you're that much into like management simulators, I guess, which you're probably not, as far as I remember. Okay, Final Fantasy XI, Command & Conquer General, Star Ocean Till the End of Time, Dynasty Warriors, Ark the Lad, Dot Hack, Quarantine, okay. Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne, Dynasty Tactics, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Oh, he voices the male Twi'lek in those games. Drakengard. Let's see. More Call of Duties. Lord of the Ring, War of the Ring. Okay. Ratchet & Clank Going Commando. He's like got a lot of voice work. He's actually voiced some of the Genome Soldiers in the Twin Snakes, Metal Gear. That's more for Venom's reference, actually, because I know he's played that one. Chronicles of Riddick. Oh, he's actually voiced a Shin Megami game? Digital Devil Saga. Okay. Doom 3, Suikoden 4, Sly Cooper 2. Lost your copy. Oh yeah, I remember you lent it to someone, I think, and they never like gave it back or something. I remember you talking about it. Yeah, he's also Andre in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. And he's done work for EverQuest, World of Warcraft, Battle for Middle-earth. Broadly speaking, that is accurate. Okay, fair enough. I remember something to that effect. Knights of the Republic 2. Shin Megami Digital Devil Saga 2. Death by Degrees, which was like a very, very bad... what's it called? Not Tekken, the other one. Dead or Alive. It's like a very bad Dead or Alive spin-off starring Nina. It's not a very decent game, unfortunately. Shadow of Rome, Area 51, God of War. He voices Aris in God of War. That's like probably his first major role in like games. Ape Escape, Rogue Galaxy. Oh wow, there's like a lot of JRPGs here too. He also voices Vincent Valentine in the Advent Children movie, Final Fantasy VII. So that's kind of like interesting as well. And I'm still like only up to 2005 in the IMDb thing. He's got like 700 something credits. Just like gonna go like a bit further up to see if there's like any more well-known games here. Let's see, let's go 2015, I guess. He's in like all the Guild Wars games actually. He's in Prey. Oh, he's Walter Dahl in Prey. Okay. Interesting. He's the voice of the player character in Let It Die, if anyone's played that. It's like an interesting roguelike kind of thing. Was on the PS4 and now on Steam as well. I would not recommend it because it's grindtastic, but it's, again, a very interesting game. He also voices Mighty Number 8 in Mighty Number 9. Seems legit. This guy's been around, huh? Sorry, yeah, this kind of like become like a Stephen Blum kind of like fun stream, so I'm just like gonna stop that for now. It's also been like The Last of Us 2. Yeah, he seems to like be specializing as like a character actor in like games, like secondary characters mostly. So yeah, here we are, armed the two explosives, the two nuclear devices, and we need to go back to the shuttle and see the fancy lights.
Let's head back to the shuttle and watch Attila do the old fire dance.
Tend to stick to the games that we're good at, least in their own time. Oh, you're talking about Afterlife. Yeah, it was never like a good game. It has some like decent ideas, but it kind of becomes a bit too much to kind of like keep up with, because you've got two different planes of existence, I guess. It's like heaven and hell separately. And you kind of like got like both of those to kind of micromanage, and each one has like 7 virtues and 7 scenes to build buildings for, and it's kind of like playing 2 different games of SimCity at the same time. And while the jokes are fun and interesting, and for example, it's a city management game in which the phrase "butts out of hell" actually happens as a disaster. So in the heaven plane you can get a disaster that's called Butts Out of Hell, which kind of like reference on like the Meatloaf song. But anyway, and in hell you can get hell freezes over, which actually literally hell freezes over, which is that side of the map, and you have to keep track of both at the same time. It's like four horsemen of the apocalypse, and you know, it's all kind of like comical because it's LucasArts, and I believe they had like illustrations made by Steve Purcell, who is the guy that made okay, I think we need to contact Borden.
Come in, Borden.
He's the guy that made Sam & Max. They kind of like commissioned him to do the art for that.
Looks good, boss.
Come on in.
Come on back inside for the fireworks.
And it's an interesting game, but way too busy. The only reason I ever actually played it It's
All in,
because
Cora.
I found like a collection. I don't know if it's like visible from here.
All clear, landing team. All clear, shuttle.
Let me like let this cutscene play out, and then I'll show you something on the webcam. So give me just a moment, desktop, because this is like a very interesting cutscene. Actually, you know, I'm gonna go dig out that thing until like this plays out.
Explosives armed. Houston gives us the go-ahead. Say when, boss.
Do it. Now let's see, is it the big green triangle or the little red circle?
Shut up and push, Ken. My baby's getting impatient.
Here we go. We have detonation, Alpha and Beta.
What are the instruments showing?
Nothing big coming our way.
What's the pig telling us, Cora?
Attila's still in one piece. There's a lot of seismic bounce, some fracturing. We're stable again. Radioactivity in Quadrant 1 is well within the safe range.
What does Houston say, Ken?
Everything's go for a surface walk at your option.
Then let's go, landing team. Let's see what Attila looks like after plastic surgery.
And isn't this like an amazing shot of like the shuttle flying into the
Attila is more dangerous now than before we tamed him.
Into the like
Those were certainly profound
face
first words
of
to speak
the on like the asteroid.
I'm not making speeches, Robbins. I'm concerned about keeping everybody alive.
Commander, I can collect rock samples later.
Okay.
Right now, I would like to get below the surface down into that tunnel.
We're gonna do it eventually. We might as well do it now. You agree, Robbins?
I'm game for it.
I've called the pig. We'll send it on ahead to light the way.
Remember, any rock may be loose, and any wall may collapse at any time.
Please be careful, everyone. Cora, send down the pig, please. We'll need the light.
Also another amazing shot as the pig descends and kind of like illuminates everything. Although I guess like the lighting is kind of already there in most cases. But yeah, this is like another amazing shot. Like you can see like the Earth like deep in the distance. And this is what I was talking about when I was saying it's like a very cinematic kind of game.
You see anything unusual, Brink?
It's hard to determine how this tunnel was formed.
Could it be
Was it
man-made?
created by the explosion?
No, it's very ancient. The explosions opened the door, but this tunnel... Old, but not as old as the asteroid.
What does that mean?
I don't know yet.
Oh, we're
It
gonna
just
find out.
feels unnatural. There are some odd projections near the bottom of this tunnel that don't seem to belong here.
Yeah, and you can actually see them. It's like the little like protrusions all around the place, like one here, one here, one here, and one here. But before I do that, it's like the thing I was talking about. So I wouldn't have actually gotten Afterlife on my own. While I like management games generally, I knew this one wasn't that great, even though I am, insofar as I may be called like a fanboy, I am a huge fan of LucasArts games. But at some time, LucasArts kind of started like releasing collections of their games, which is like big box sets that has like 6 games in them. And I did manage to get like Volume 3. So you may be wondering, what is Volume 3? Like you can already kind of like see one of the games that was in it, which is Full Throttle. But I got this for like, I think the equivalent of 25 euros. And what it had inside was The Dig, one of them, Monkey Island 1 and 2, Full Throttle, Afterlife, which Dark Forces, and it also had a CD bonus that had demos of X-Wing vs TIE Fighter, Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, Outlaws, which is another amazing LucasArts first-person game that I would heartily recommend to everyone. And this is like more relevant to Rooks. It also had Yoda stories and Indiana Jones and his desktop adventure. So yeah, this is like where I got it from. I actually had like the originals of those. And it came into like a box like this, and you can actually open it and like see all the discs in like the insert. And I think there's like a... Hold on, I think like I have the manual for it in here as well. Because it didn't come like with individual manuals for each game, unfortunately. That's kind of like the annoying thing. And not only did it not come with manuals, it didn't actually come with like jewel cases for each CD either, because they were kind of like placed on there. So like the Dig and Full Throttle and that like Monkey Island dual thing, I have them all in like I went and like bought jewel cases on my own. But it did come like a user's guide, which is kind of like this thick and has kind of like starter info for all of the games. Like it has like the Monkey Island chapter that kind of like tells you how to play Monkey Island. Oh, it also had like a demo for Curse of Monkey Island. But I actually think I had already bought that one as well with this collection. Yeah, and you get like Dark Forces as well. Wow, and it was like so cool. You got like a little like monochrome splash page for every single game, and then like you got like, remember when like FPSs were meant to be played with like joysticks? It's like even at the time where you didn't actually have like a mouse wheel, and you can kind of like see it here. Like there's like this game proudly supported mouse look by using a weird mouse that has like 3 buttons. Which was actually not a thing back then. You could even like get with like 2 buttons, but not with 3 around here at least. And then you also like kind of like get like pictures of the enemies in the game, and I guess like Monkey Island 2, Full Throttle, yeah, the Dig. Like look at this, isn't it amazing that you could like get, and this was like even considered like very bare bones at the time. But yeah, there we go. There's like Afterlife was in here as well. And I don't know if there's like any screenshot that can be seen like clearly because it's like all kind of like monochrome. But it was kind of like an isometric CD builder, I guess. Trying to see if there's like any decent images. I don't think there are. Yeah, I don't know if you can like kind of like see from the picture, but it's like very hard to tell what's going on most of the time. And then like this one as well. The LucasArts Super Sampler, containing such amazing things as Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, X-Wing vs TIE Fighter. Let me just like turn the page. Outlaws, interactive demo, Yoda stories, and Indiana Jones and his desktop adventures. I would love to actually stream those for just like one stream, but unfortunately it's very hard to find them anymore. I know for a fact that the disk that this came on doesn't actually run in Windows 10 at all, because it was kind of like built on like this weird like launcher thingy where you kind of like had like a window in Windows 95 and there's like individual icons that would launch all the executables, but the executables aren't actual executables, so you can't launch it without the launcher. And yeah, this has been like 1 hour of stream and I've only played like 20 minutes of it. Well done me. Nostalgia, you know. I had like some like pink tinged goggles or something. I don't know. So yeah, we see some odd projections and we're kind of like getting wondering.
Later, but I'm gonna dig out one of these odd projections.
It's your decision, Commander.
Look at this, Brink. This can't be natural.
It isn't.
Definitely not. A metal plate. Definitely an artifact.
An artifact?
Of what?
But who could have put something like this in a tunnel?
Aliens.
Yes, yes, I think it's clear. Wherever Attila came from, there was someone there.
Could this be part of some kind of message? Like the one NASA put in Voyager?
If it's a message, I don't understand it.
Whatever it is, we've got to tell Houston immediately.
Negative, Robbins.
Whoops.
I'm clamping down total security as of this moment.
Yep. Turns out Boston Low had other instructions.
You've been telling me all along you just want to be an ordinary member of the mission. I've had secret orders all along to look for any sign of alien presence on this rock. And now that we've found it, my instructions are clear. What I want to hear from both of you right now is, I understand, Commander Lowe.
I understand and agree, Commander Lowe.
And I agree as well.
There's nothing to be gained from a premature announcement.
So, this is also kind of unique in sci-fi, that the person in charge has like secret orders, but he doesn't actually try to like screw over his rest, like the rest of his team.
Tell Houston that I said Attila's a real Hun.
What?
And
just tell them.
He actually just like tells them everything as soon as like the suspicions are confirmed. It's kind of like unique. It's not like, for example, like was like the doctor's name in Alien, like the android. Oh god, the one that's like played by Ian Holm. What was he like his name? I kind of like have to look it up.
We're getting back to work down here, Ken.
God, it's just a
Low out.
Ian Holm, Alien. His name was. God damn it. Ash. Yeah. So it's not like Ash in Alien that kind of like knows they're gonna like run into aliens, but like he immediately kind of like tries to screw everyone over because of, you know, Wayland Corporation is kind of like jerks. But yeah, it's like one of the things that I like kind of like breaks away from that trope by stepping back a bit and kind of like letting them know that something's up and please trust me for now. I know what's going on and I've got like instructions and so on and so forth.
We're 3 for 3 here, folks.
Okay.
I've heard of putting a message in a bottle, but never in a big rock.
So yeah, some of the quips are a bit
I can't use these two things together.
Weird, to say the least. So yeah, the basic objective here is to find and activate all 4 plates, I think. I don't remember, it's like 4 or 5.
Plate just dropped down.
Yeah, that's like the entrance. That's like the last one I need to...
The plate is gone?
Yep.
I'm going to push another one.
Yep.
I wish we could be sure we weren't destroying whatever message they meant us to receive.
It seems to me that if they didn't mean us to push these metal plates, we wouldn't be able to push them.
Aha, logic. Right? Also, I'm gonna like keep my finger on like the skip button, because the like the pauses after each like sentence kind of like go a bit too long for some reason.
It disappeared too.
Here's the last one.
And here we come to like the first puzzle of the game. You like kind of notice
Well,
if we kind of examine all of the small indentations, he will say like it seems to be leading into something bigger, and then this one actually takes you inside the asteroid, which is not an asteroid after all. Surprise! It's actually a very well shot like pentagonal room, I
Time
guess.
to update Houston. Low to shuttle.
Nope.
Static. Must be all this rock.
We're cut off. Should we go back outside and call them?
Nah, they can sit tight for a few more minutes while we poke around.
And basically, this kind of, I mean, it does get explained in the dialogue here that why they don't go back, because just like they want to have another look.
Small vent leading back to the outer chamber.
And I think you're not actually like even like allowed to go back. Oh, never mind. I've never actually tried this.
Miles, this is Low. Do you read?
I read you, Lo. What is it?
Oh, is there
How
like
long will the
no
big hole out
dialogue
as a light source?
that like acknowledges the whole
Plenty of
loadout
time.
inside?
If it starts to run low, we can pull my baby up to the surface and let the solar batteries recharge.
Aha.
Cora, did you ever pass notes in class?
What?
All the time, Boston.
I feel like somebody's passed me a note, only I don't know how to read it. Low. Low to board. I read you, Low. What is it? The pigs seem to hold up pretty well in the nuclear explosions. Yep, every now and then, the lowest bidder does it right.
Yeah, so this is a political joke. Kind of.
I gotta tell you, it's hard to stay calm when you're floating around inside an alien structure. Well, stay calm, boss. And be careful. Don't mess with things you don't understand.
Oh, if only we would take this
Again,
advice.
my whole mission here is to mess with things I don't understand.
Yeah, I've never actually seen like this part of the dialogue
Well,
before.
I guess that's why you're in there and I'm out here.
Low.
Oh yeah, it's like another thing that I would like to showcase here is that this thing comes with like a lunar lander thing. You actually get like a small lunar lander mini game. And I can't tell you how many hours I've spent trying to kind of like figure out how like this works, because like the gravity is very unforgiving. Like I don't even know if like it's possible to land on that like ×4 square, but I think you get like extra score depending on where exactly you landed and like how much fuel you have left. So like ideally you want to kind of like land it with as little like fuel as possible, which is kind of like what you used to. Oh. Nope. Double damn.
I can pilot a shuttle better.
Yeah, it's just like trying like once and then just like be done with it.
The Eagle has landed.
Yay! 10 points received for landing. Total score 10. It's like, imagine like taking the time to program this inside your point and click game. And I've like spent probably like a lot of time that I shouldn't have just like playing around with this. It's until you run out of fuel. Yeah, but you can like totally like restart it if you mess things up. Yeah, and you also can't have like vertical velocity too much because
this game cheats.
This game cheats, yeah. It's like the more you screw up, the more it kind of like yeah, the game is based on how many good landings we get with like the 5,000 ish fuel that you're like given at the
It's
start.
not my fault. The buttons were sticky.
And like yeah, the what's it called? Like the justifications for like why Boston keeps like losing keep getting like more and more ridiculous. And we're done. Pop.
This game cheats.
It just like started like repeating itself. Final score 10. Yep. Oh yeah, there's that. And then there's like the first puzzle in the game. So basically what happens here is that for every one of those plates that we pushed in, another one with like the same shape kind of appeared on like the pedestal here. It's like a very, very basic puzzle, and you just like need to pick up the 4 pieces. I think the idea is that like when you push them, they kind of like fall onto this wall, which takes some time to realize, but because this is like a 0G environment, these are actually like fallen from like across the room from where you pushed them. But the way it looked to me at first, like the first time I played when I was like younger, was kind of like they kind of like popped out of the wall because of like how the perspective works here.
These plates probably fit together, but how?
So let's see. This is like the no, hold on. Yeah, this is like the top one.
These plates probably fit together, but how? These plates shallow in.
Oh, hold on. It's like this the top one? Yeah, it's like the top one. Because you don't actually see them in like the proper orientation in the inventory. But it's kind of like a very easy puzzle. And honestly, I think it's only here in order to showcase what happens next, which is like the 3D animation. You just like go to desktop. This was like so impressive back in the day. And I mean, in a way it still is.
What's happening?
I'm moving!
Such a well shot cinematic. Like all of the cinematics in this game are so well shot. Travel by asteroid. Yeah, but it's not actually an asteroid. And like if you see, this kind of like a bit of like a foreshadowing on what you'll actually be doing later on in the game, because you get to see like a huge panorama of like the entire like spire complex that you're going to be in.
I feel like someone turned me inside out twice.
It's a little difficult to
So yeah, this is what I was talking about like hard sci-fi and soft sci-fi. It's never explained that how like faster than light travel happens, or it doesn't like even attempt to explain that. And you know, breathable air and all of that, and like there's gravity, and it's like very interesting.
As breathable as the air in LA. Of course, there's always the danger of airborne infectious agents.
Aha.
I don't think so. Alien microbes should be no threat to us.
Well, this actually thing has been
to
like
make use of our cell structures.
it's not like a foregone thing. So it's kind of interesting that they do try to like hand wave it, but you will see as we explore this place more and more, it goes a lot further away from like the hard sci-fi into like the more fantasy aspect of it. It goes a lot more into the fiction rather than the science of science fiction.
The air tastes good.
Surprise, surprise. Attila was a spaceship all along.
A starship, faster than light. We're not in our own solar system. No planet but Earth has an atmosphere like this, and this ain't Earth.
After so many years of bad TV shows and crackpots with phony pictures, here is the real proof. There is alien life.
Load a cockpit, over. Load a payload,
also like the small attention to detail,
yeah,
like the
PDA. We're out of range.
The hand
Way
sprite
out.
kind of changes when you're not in your suit.
I don't see any aliens coming to greet us.
For all we know, it might have been 1 million years since these people sent out Attila, and they long since died out.
I don't know about you, but I didn't pack a lunch.
Or a can of pop.
Well, we might as well look around and learn what we can about this place.
Mm-hmm.
We might be here a while.
Such a nicely shot.
Looks like a large moon in orbit around us.
Game.
A smallish moon in orbit around us.
And like you notice, like all the locations are kind of they kind of like have like very non-descriptive names. My dude, no. How about no? Bun. Where's my mods when I need them? It's like the only problem with like this type of game is that like DOS games don't react very well to alt tabbing a whole bunch. So yeah, the reason for the
Where are you going, Lo?
is because of this.
I was gonna check for water. Or some way out of here.
I think we should remain together.
Fine. Follow me.
This is no longer a space expedition, Lo. This is an archaeological dig. Therefore, I am the obvious leader.
Fine. Whenever we need to dig something up, you can use the shovel.
Oh, okay.
In the meantime, our first business is to survive. Our second task is to get home. We need to work together, and I'm still the commander of this mission.
You don't know any more about surviving on an alien world than I do.
Boston is right, Ludger. He's the one with experience in survival, and we need someone in command.
Aw.
This is no time for a foolish power struggle.
All right, I agree.
This is
For
like such a like okay, considering what happens next, I don't know, it's kind of like weird what happens next, but it's also so interesting that they actually have like rational discussions about this. Because if this game had been made in like 2015 instead of 1995, you would
Do you
totally
think we
have
could climb this slope?
What should we call him?
No use.
You like totally like
it
get
doesn't
like
go up
Brink.
all the way to the top.
Oh, come on. What?
The engravings on this wall, are they writing or decoration?
What the? Why is the keyboard not working? I mean, the mouse is. Oh, is it because I tabbed out? Yeah, it's because I tabbed out. We can't even save the game now. Awesome. Screw me sideways. You sure you want to quit? No. Oh, there we go. So yeah, tabbing out of the game kind of makes everything kind of like crap itself, so I couldn't even like pause. But yeah, if this game had been made in 2015, for example, you would totally get like a scene where Brink double crosses everyone else right at the start. It would be easier to restart. Yeah, I mean, I did like kind of like drag on a little bit too much. That's true. So yeah, it's kind of like established that we can't actually do anything here just yet. So we've got like 3 points of interest. In this one, I think we get like
not
the
just
bone.
Plants, but creatures too. I'm not an archaeologist, but these look like bones to me.
But they are not lying where the animal died. They were placed here. Markers.
Aha.
A grave?
Best guess.
And now a home for those rat-like things.
It's like so interesting. They do come across as like intelligent people.
This is light, but it feels as strong as steel.
In fact, it's actually like the protagonist, like it's Boston that does like all this more like stupid things.
Never Robbins.
By kind of like messing with everything all over the place.
Something's looking at me.
Yeah, Sci-Fi does. That wasn't what I meant. Like, generally in Sci-Fi, like the type of fiction, science fiction, the type of fiction that we are currently watching, there are usually 2 distinct categories of sci-fi. It's hard sci-fi, which is the sci-fi that focuses more on the science part of it, and this is something that you can probably see better in Star Trek, where all of the technology is kind of explained, not always sufficiently, but they do try to explain how all of the things kind of like work. And then there's soft sci-fi, which like kind of like focuses more on the fiction part of science fiction. This would be Star Wars, where the technology is like very seldomly like kind of like explained, and it focuses more on like the cool things that it wants to show you. So, like, yeah, there's like a magical force. There's like a magical energy called the Force in Star Wars, where it can allow people to jump 5 times their height, or pull things from a distance, or shoot lightning out of their fingertips. That kind of thing could never exist in Star Trek, though, because it's like a different kind of sci-fi, and it would need to be explained. And Star Wars kind of took a small like dip in popularity when they did try to explain it as being like midi-chlorians, like stuff in like the bloodstream or something. So yeah, the distinction I was trying to explain is that The Dig is a sci-fi game that goes from one end to the other as the game progresses, because it starts out with like trying to explain the technology, trying to explain like the orbit of Attila and how they want to change it so it doesn't crash into Earth, and like the pig being like this autonomous like tool platform, and so on and so forth. And like the moment you come to the alien planet, you never get sufficient explanations for how anything works. Are there like rods that have geometric shapes on them that are used as keys? Yes. Why? No one knows. Are there crystals that can actually give life to like a dead body? Yes. Why? No one ever explains that. Are there big freaking balls that act as trams? Also yes, but they never explain how those work, and they don't need to. That's the thing. That's the unique thing about this game, is that it goes from hard sci-fi to soft sci-fi with never actually kind of like dropping the distinction somewhere in between, kind of like fades into one another, and it never feels like it needs to explain anything. It transitions so smoothly and so seamlessly that it's kind of like very interesting to see, because again, most stories kind of like go from one end to the other end. Like in this bit, we're gonna find sentient electricity, and that's also something that's never explained. Why? No one cares, because it kind of like gives like this mysterious feeling that everything is alien and actually being alien, not kind of something that we know how it works because we've got like the Earth equivalent. No, it's something that we have no idea how it works or why it works, and it's just like interesting, right? Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing. It's kind of like the magic in like, say, Lord of the Rings versus the Wheel of Time, I guess, or was like the other one that had like very strict rules about magic. I think it's like the Dark Sun universe or something like that. Anyway, but yeah, it's kind of like the same thing, right? And yeah, but it's not always a bad thing. It's just that like each story needs to focus on different things, because you can totally have a universe where everything with magic can be explained in like a satisfactory way. You can totally have that. Like Dungeons and Dragons kind of does that. I mean, it doesn't actually explain specifically how magic works, like down to like the atomic level, but in, for example, the Forgotten Realms, it's kind of explained that's like a god of magic that gives people like, that gives like wizards their powers, because he kind of like enjoys like giving them power and so on and so forth, and they have to study it, and there's formulas, and they have to memorize things and so on and so forth, and that's fine. And also fine is the other side, Lord of the Rings, where wizards are like this weird powerful force of nature that roams the Middle Earth, because like elves and like gods a million years ago kind of fought. That's kind of like grossly overgeneralizing it, but yeah, there is space for both types. That's what I mean. But just this game goes from one to another
all this
so
rust,
smoothly.
corrosion
Is
Perhaps
actually what's like the interesting thing about it.
Hard to know what we're looking at. Let me look. Try not to disturb anything.
So I think we can open this later on, right? To get like one of the keys.
Well, I don't see any treasure, but there is something in here.
Aha.
When we get back, the engineers are going to have a field day trying to figure out how this worked.
Yep. Like
we might need this wire later. I'm going to see if I can pull it down.
First, shouldn't you turn the power off at the breaker box?
Okay, give me just a moment, please. I need to BRB very, very fast.
That was a joke, Lo.
And we're back. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah.
We seem to be about to get like some rain.
Stand back in case something comes down on our heads.
Look at it. It's beautiful.
Changing shapes, mathematical progressions of ever more complex polyhedrons.
Next time I suggest pulling a wire.
No, I'm glad you did. What could that have been?
Not a random electrical discharge.
Maybe it's a kind of computer display. Maybe to the aliens who piloted this ship it conveyed some meaningful information. But to me, it means absolutely nothing.
Expelled invader. No, I heard like a rumble outside.
It still might be useful.
Like I said, we might be going for rain, actually.
Did any of you see? Was this here before that thing appeared?
Of course it was. Do you think an electrical field can carry a solid object?
So yeah, there's actually another like cool little detail here. Because of how they were standing, like look at this. We are seeing it from like the camera's point of view, which is like the entire panorama. So we did see that what this actually turns out to be an alien ghost. We did see that the alien ghost kind of dropped a thing for us to get. And in the dialogue, it kind of like references that the characters' positions, because for them the ghost was right in front of them, so they couldn't have seen what it dropped behind it, because the ghost was kind of like around here. They couldn't see the little like rod that it dropped, which was like one of the password rods, and it's like the gold one. Yeah,
it's a rod. Engraved 5 geometric shapes. It's a rod engraved 5 geometric shapes.
So I guess I'm not able to kind of like program it yet.
Some kind of device. I have no clue what it might be for.
This is, I think, kind of like a compass as far as I remember. And I think we need to...
It won't accomplish anything.
Wait, what?
I can't use these two things together.
Really? I thought you had to kind of like tie them together, no? How much is like rushing?
It's closed. Robbins, do you think it was trying to get one of us hurt?
I don't know, but apparition seems like a good word for it.
Thanks.
Let's see. Wait, did I say something wrong? Oh, I'm sorry. I just got like how, like the dialogue there kind of like went a bit weird. So let's see, dirt ramp, wreck, days. That's how Low described the road. Yeah, I know, but I mean it does kind of work that he kind of like breaks it down a little bit into what it is. Aha, there you go.
I think we can safely say this is not a natural weather phenomenon.
How about a mirage? Anyone voting for it being a mirage?
It knew we were here. It was trying to tell us something. Or show us something.
Don't be too quick to anthropomorphize.
How do we know what life looks like here?
It might be alive. Or it might be some kind of automatic guidance system. We triggered it in that ruined ship, and now it's leading us.
You mean this is the last gasp of a holographic tour guide?
Or the Port Authority. Maybe it's telling us we're under arrest. Come quietly, or self-aiming lasers will toast us to cinders in 15 seconds.
Don't joke about that.
Stop it. Maybe you can think that's funny, but the last thing I need is some mischievous boy trying to give me the creeps.
If I wanted to give you the creeps, I'd tell you that it was the ghost of a long dead alien.
Isn't that the truth, though? Eventually.
How do you know it isn't a ghost?
What? You think this is where aliens end up when they die? If it is, then this place better be hell, because it sure isn't my idea of heaven.
Now you're starting to give me the creeps. It's too small and dark to see if this hole leads anywhere. I'm gonna see if I can enlarge the hole. Maybe there's something under here.
So this is also kind of like an interesting bit of foreshadowing.
Maybe something lives down in that hole.
Because we dig this, something is going to happen a bit later on with Brink.
Utterances of experts.
The ground is soft here. Loose. I think this used to be an opening, and over the years, wind has filled it up with sand and dirt.
Here, let me see. Yes, that's right. You're probably right.
That means the ground is treacherous. It could be hollow under there.
Yep.
Commander, I think it's time for an archaeologist to do the digging. I'm used to dealing with drifted soil.
The shovel is yours, Brink. Just be careful. The ground's pretty unstable. My feet kept sinking.
My whole training is to be careful.
Well,
Not
we'll
to
see
charge him
how
with guns
that
blazing.
works out for you.
Finally, a good use for my extensive training.
No, it's completely... I can't... No! Ah!
Brink! I couldn't get to him in time. I couldn't.
It happened too fast. How long a drop is it?
Looks like the rubble has formed a ramp. Follow me.
It's like such a good animation
Here he
here.
is. He's not moving.
Brink.
Like even like the little animation bit
He's
of
dead.
like him breathing, it like gives it so much. I don't know.
Should have been the one digging.
What's it called? Like gives like a
Then
lot of
you'd
like
be the
more
dead one.
believable feel to
It's
it.
my responsibility to.
To what?
Brink and I are not children or trained monkeys.
Oh my.
We're responsible adults. It could have been any of us, and there's not a thing you could have done to prevent it.
And this is how everyone splits up.
But to lose Brink, and we've only been up here.
Look, you can't keep me safe, and I can't keep you safe. So there's no particular reason for us to stay together. Our odds of getting back to Earth are better if we work separately on figuring this place out.
I don't like the idea of splitting up.
Why? Because we're safer together? Ask Brink about that.
Oh, low blow.
Because maybe I won't know what I'm seeing without you to help me understand it.
If you find something interesting, the communicators still work.
Which is kind of like a small like plot hole here.
Till
So
then,
how does she
adios, ciao, sayonara, auf Wiedersehen.
know that
Maggie, it's
they work?
against every rule of military action for an officer to be separated from his command.
Boston, this isn't a military action, and you don't have a command. There's just you and me, and we both know exactly the same amount about this situation, which is to say, nada, nothing, zip. If we suddenly find ourselves facing an army, then you're in command again.
Yeah, fair enough.
Until then, adios, ciao, sayonara.
Like you can totally like see how like hostile she
Nobody
still
likes
is
you
at
when
him.
you smart off like that.
Yeah, all my psychological tests as a kid said that I didn't work well with others.
Blah, 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 blah.
So this is what failure feels like.
Yep, there's nowhere to go but up now, I guess. Like we did get the shovel back. So, it's like kind of like the pixel hunting thing. There's like
looks like one of the control plates
like
we found
all
on
of the like most of the items that you can get in the game are like very they blend together quite well with like the
you could
environments.
Be irritating sometimes, but you sure didn't deserve to die.
So, what's it called? It's sometimes very hard to know what you can pick up and what you can't pick up. I think there's like something we can do here as well, but I don't remember what it was. Or not? Actually, this might just like be a dead end. Never mind. So yeah, here we are trying to explore this new place. And like this is like the thing I was talking about, like how visually interesting the game is. It's like, see, like every door has like a kind of different what's it called? Like hue on it. So this is kind of like a purplish one, it's like more orange, it's like a brown one here. And that's kind of
Somebody
great.
spent a long time engraving these smooth grooves on the surface of this column.
Yep.
I wish I knew what for.
So this also kind of like the whole like color scheme thing.
Another
kind of
one of
works
these engraved
great
sticks.
With
what are they? Wands, batons, bludgeons?
Kind of like, because you don't really know how anything
Maybe
works.
some
You
kind
kind of like have
handheld
to grasp at like more
With my luck,
universal like ideas, like color associations and shapes and stuff like that. So like a lot of the earlier puzzles are kind of like based on just that. So I think we can now actually examine these.
It's a rod. Engraved.
Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So, it's like one of the major puzzles of the game. Here we can like get codes off of these and kind of like use them to open some of these doors. So let me see. This one was green hexagon, red square, blue hexagon. No, sorry, pentagon. No, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexagon, and like there's like a septagon. 5, 6, 9. It's like a hex again. Okay, so it's like the only problem is that like these are like you have to like scroll through all of the shapes in each color before you kind of go through to like where you need it to be. It's kind of annoying because it's like 5 or 6 shapes for like each one. I don't actually think this is the door that we need to open because they're like color coded, but let me just like check. And see if we want to like check the other way around, I need to go like through all of the red and green ones before I get to this. Yeah, this is like type of design that wouldn't be okay nowadays, and like with good reason. This kind of like just wastes time more than anything else. Well, wastes time. That's kind of like a bit like too harsh, but I mean, in a way, it does kind of waste time because it would have been a lot more functional if you could just like select what you want in the first place without having to scroll through every single time. One more. And then now you have to go all the way through to the blue ones. No, it's the other way around, I guess. No, this is actually right. So, so this door either. So which door was it? And this is kind of like one of the things that the game kind of like suffers from, like a bit of like annoying design. Because it's like a lot of trial and error here. I don't actually remember which door corresponds to which rod. Oh, I actually overshot the green ones, didn't I? Whoops. Three, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 4 here. I think this might be the one, but I'm not actually sure. There's like one more door that I haven't tried. No? I mean, I am using like the correct combinations, right? So this leads to the drone chamber, I think. And again, this was like such a nice cinematic technique of like panning into the camera back then. So interesting. So
it's hot here.
Think,
and it's glowing down there.
We need to repair the panel before we can use the drone. Yep.
10 to 1, it's the power source for this place. All I need to do now is to find the light switch. Or the plug.
So yeah, clearly something is out of alignment. We can totally like sit down there.
Or whatever makes this thing work. An instruction manual might help.
And like this like outbreak is amazing.
And I could use a sandwich. And a hot jukebox and a cold beer. Or just a starship headed for home. Get a grip, Boston.
This is like the kind of characterization you never get nowadays, unfortunately. Let's see, control panel.
Nothing happened.
So as far as I remember,
I can't use these two things
we need
together.
to open one of these.
I can't use it. Won't do.
So this is the reset button. This is the backspace. Yeah, but I don't actually remember how you send the thing out. I think you need to program it through here and then just like activate it. Yeah. Okay. So this isn't like very hard to figure out. It's kind of like a directional puzzle. So it's like you go like 5 to the left and then you go 1, 2, 3 down. Then you engage the clamp, I think. I think that's actually like the first part. So the idea here is that you need to use the drone or like this thing that's like kind of like a drone to pick up the lens that's kind of like fallen off right there. Oh, that's like too much. Never mind. And replace it on the just like this. And then kind of like replace it on like the tip of the of the beam, I guess. The beam generator, the beam emitter. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that picks it up. Wait, does that mean that now it's kind of like yeah, it carries it? Okay, that's fine. So we did like half of it. So from here we need to go 5 or 6 up, I think. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then like place it again. There we go. I'm glad that my memory is good for something at least. So yeah, we did get the code right, we just didn't have power to the door. It's kind of like a very unique thing in these games, that you actually can solve a puzzle and later on when you finish the solution it will show you that you've actually done something right. So this was like so cool. If I hadn't like put in like the code, it wouldn't have shown me this part of the cutscene, like the door opening. And more 3D. Can anyone tell that 3D was kind of like becoming a big thing back in '95? Oh, what might this place be? Good thing they didn't try to make the gameplay 3D. I don't think they could at the time. Like, their first 3D game was like Grim Fandango, and that was like in 2001, I think. Or like 99. I don't actually remember. When was Grim Fandango? It was like 2000-ish. Or like 99 even. Let me check. '98. So yeah, it's still like a good 2 or like 2.5 years after this game. So, you know, I think they didn't like quite have the technology for it at the time. So this is an airlock, just in case you didn't like realize.
There is an airtight seal between these two rooms.
Oh, hold on. Like this? Yeah, there we go.
This looks like a command center.
And it's missing something. I wonder what that is. Yep.
This crystal is lifeless. It's an energized... This hole is empty. This hole is empty. It's an...
So yeah, we can't actually do anything here just yet. So here's like another cool thing about this game. If you've actually done a scene transition at least once, you can kind of like double click to skip it. So I can very easily just like double click through here and just like skip the entire animation. Yeah, I mean, they might have tried, but I don't think they would have.
When this rock fell from the ceiling, it must have cracked open an energy conduit under the floor.
So let's see if I remember correctly. Like this?
Let's see if we can pry the cover off.
So yeah, this is kind of like me cheating a little bit because I remember the solution for this. But
that's it.
Later on, you kind of like figure out that you can go through there. But always because you have like the code, but it won't open. First. So that's kind of like what it would like hint towards it not being powered correctly. Although the game never actually does explain how you know where to connect to on the panel.
I should have been an electrician.
You just burned it. There we go. I think this would have been better handled if you couldn't actually interact with the combination door before. And yeah, like not this. Like we know that this shape kind of is like what brought us here to begin with. Like a mechanic very similar to this. So we do have a what's it called, like a clear line as to what we are meant to be doing, or at least what we think we are meant to be doing.
Well, that probably... The plants seem to draw energy from my body, and they must...
Yeah. And it kind of like gives you a goal without actually telling you anything about it. You're kind of like meant to think, hey, this is like a thing that
so much for the
brought us here,
idea,
right? So maybe if we
Boston,
complete that one, it can like
are you there?
Take us back home.
I just got the power turned on and a door opened up here. They use geometric shapes as a kind of combination for the locks.
Aha.
Boston, you won't believe where I am. I'm in a place filled with alien technology, the most fantastic things I've ever seen.
It's a library.
And the machines are working.
What are they doing?
No one knows.
I don't know yet. I mean, they're really alien. Like nothing I've seen before.
Don't go too fast, Maggie.
I'll be careful, Boston.
Oh, by the way, I love the...
But it's not like we have time to use correct scientific procedures to test these things.
What's it called? I love the little, like, well, not
Where
Easter
are you?
egg,
How can I get to
but
you?
kind of like a reference, I guess.
I wish I knew.
Um,
It's a sure thing you can't get here the way I did.
Yep. Just kind of like explain why we can't immediately
I slid through a
get
low
access to
tunnel in
Maggie.
the rock, and then it kind of got filled with debris when the roof collapsed.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's what I was about to say.
Gee, but if we'd been together,
kind of like
whoever went through the crack second would definitely have been killed.
Easter egg is that the shape that you solve in the asteroid is the same as like the on-off icon on the on-off button on the
I
PDA.
handled it just fine.
Yeah, I guess you did.
We're both doing okay, Boston. We'll find a way to connect up with each other when it matters.
Don't rush it. That's what the game is telling you. Just
Maggie?
solve everything.
Good work.
Oh.
Thanks, Boston.
So yeah, like the it's like totally the icon of like the 4 plates down here. It's actually funny if you try to
Load a shuttle. Way out of range.
So yeah, and this is our first introduction to the tram system. Kind of like another cool little like visual here. Because it's like these floating illuminated orbs, and this is also the like our first hint that like these kinds of like platforms can kind of like materialize out of thin air through light. Because that's going to become relevant later on in another puzzle. There's like a lot of like cohesion in all like the stuff that get like kind of like foreshadowed in the game. So the crystals that like revive people can also be used as keys at some point. The technology that kind of like materializes small platforms is going to be encountered later on in like I think where you connect all of like the 5 spires, I think.
I need some help to pry this door open.
Oh yeah, we can't wait. We can't actually open it. But oh yeah, you know, you need to do the thing with Brink
first. I need some help to pry this door.
Okay, never mind. So, here is the most infamous of this game's puzzles, the turtle skeleton puzzle.
Plenty of water here. If it's drinkable, then we won't die right away. We'll have plenty of time to starve to death.
Aha. It's like such a cool sequence here.
If Maggie were here, I'd tell her not to take a chance on swimming in the same water with a large eel that may or may not think of her as dinner.
Aha.
So maybe I'll take my own advice and stay on dry land.
So yeah, this is like for like a bit later. Ah.
Another ghost. The last one pointed the way down into the Nexus. Of course, that's how Brink died.
Yep. One of the biggest memories you have is like how many... Yeah, because there's like one piece, I think, like at the tail, where you can kind of actually... It looks like it fits both ways. So this is also a puzzle that kind of made me like go a bit like, what? Until I realized that you can actually hold it and like you get like the little like thing on like the representation of the spires that connects it to the middle layer. Like such a cool thing. So yeah, we established a connection and now we can
just needs a little adjustment.
Oh, we can totally kind of like
Okay, so maybe it needs a little more adjustment.
Yep.
If at first you don't succeed, it's still... If it...
Oh, wait, no. If you interrupted, you need to restart it. Never mind. My bad. I think this is also kind of like a neat idea on... like the whole like fast travel thing, I guess.
It doesn't look safe to walk there.
So you basically like you progress through the game and eventually you kind of like activate all of these like light bridges so you can get like from one spire to the other.
A bunch of displays.
It's like such an interesting thing.
Inscriptions here and there.
Yep. This is also where Maggie is.
I'd say it looks like some kind of museum.
Or a library. Two fast travel systems, yeah, but it's kind of actually like faster to use the bridges because the
strange glowing crystals,
the whatchamacallit, like the tram network always takes you like at the start of the area, which is kind of
Another one of these engravings on a stick.
So yeah, this is like the code for the second door. Already like used this one anyway. So yeah, normally like you're meant to get like the hint here where like those green stones that you got kind of have the power to revive dead entities, I guess. They're kind of like interesting. You do eventually get like a hint about it if you keep like examining the these engravings. Then he goes into the stone, I think. Yeah. So this is a hint for a puzzle later on.
Some sort of burial chamber?
Yep, and there's like a full, another full moon, like an eclipse or something. I don't actually remember, but I think you actually trigger the eclipse yourself in some way. And this is just like the spire system and kind of like the hint on how to activate the way home, I guess. People say old games were obtuse. Well, I mean, generally, like, I know how to interpret this because I've played the game already, but definitely the first time it was kind of hard to kind of like decipher what I was seeing.
Symbols written on a plate. Looks like an alphabet.
However, I as far as I remember, in this case, you can actually get Maggie to come here with you and help you interpret them. Which is also kind of nice, because Boston wouldn't actually know how to interpret this.
Maggie, I found you.
Yay.
I wasn't aware that I was missing.
You know what I mean.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I may have played these games a whole bunch of times.
Through the museum, back that way.
That's nice, Boston. If that's the museum, then I guess this is the library.
I found out how to open doors back in the Nexus. There's a tram that leads out here.
Look, Boston, I think it's great you're finding things out, but I'm trying to concentrate here.
What I don't understand is like why is she always like this antagonistic. I mean,
I feel like I'm so close to making sense of some of this stuff. I just want to stay here and
she's
keep
like
working.
way too aggressive for someone that's like in a life or death situation.
All right.
Sure, of course. Anyway, I know where to find you, and you know how to get out of here if you want to.
Thanks. Yes. When I learn something, I'll call you on the box, okay?
All right. All right, yes, I won't bug you anymore right now.
But such nice voice acting, though. So yeah, you can totally kind of like ask her about the things.
I found this in the museum. Can you read it?
It's not the same set of symbols I'm finding in the database here. I don't think it's designed for strangers to be able to read it.
I wish you could read this inscription. I keep thinking that it really matters.
Give me a chance to get a handle on their language first. I'll give your inscriptions a try when I can.
Do you think it's possible to raise the dead?
Spiritually, yes. I've witnessed many ceremonies. Physically rejuvenate, I'm not sure.
There's like a typo here.
Why?
It's rejuvenate, not rejuvenate. Come on.
You won't believe what I found, Maggie.
We just keep this.
The central island
yeah, I
and
mean,
the five
kind of
rock
like doesn't make
spires
sense.
around it
I mean,
aren't
it's
just
not a
connected
perfect
by
game. There's
underwater
like some
trams.
plot holes here.
There are also light bridges leading from the spires to this amazingly transparent crystal above the center island.
A bridge made from light?
I know, it doesn't make any sense, but it's true.
Their technology is so far advanced beyond ours.
So this actually leads into something that annoys me a little bit. If you keep asking about the light bridges, they start cracking jokes about it.
If they can make bridges out of light, you have to wonder if they can make
this
anything
like goes
else.
for like quite some time. Light beer.
You mean light beer?
Yep.
I was thinking more of a lighthouse.
Funny.
Light-minded.
There's like a lot of
light
these.
Salad dressing.
Light summer clothing.
Light salad dressing.
Yeah, and they're kind of like randomized
Light
until you like get like through all of them.
Light fingered.
But they're not like particularly funny, unfortunately.
Maggie, I found a plate like the ones in the asteroid that triggered our journey here.
For all we know, any plates we find might send us on a voyage to the opposite edge of the galaxy.
Tell you what, I'll keep looking for more of them and you decipher that language so we can read the directions.
Great. You get to look for metal things lying around on the ground while I have to decode a completely alien language without any information about how they think
why is she
or
so
what they
hostile
might be
about
writing
it?
about. Yeah, that's a fair division of labor.
I mean, you're the one that insisted on doing this.
Still looking for more of these plates, Maggie.
Ah.
While you're at it, see if you can find a big juicy steak. Or, I'm not fussy, a nice salad, or even a couple of grapes.
How are you doing with your data retrieval?
I'm retrieving, I'm just not understanding.
But you're pretty sure it's their language.
I don't know. Just like the museum you found, I think this library was meant to be used by lots of different species.
So yeah, this is actually a nice little
If it's
touch.
easy, why is it taking so long?
It's like, easy compared to translating
they kind of like try to
genuinely
explain
alien
how
language
she
that you've never
eventually
heard
learns to
spoken
read
aloud.
the runes and all of that. And that's because the aliens kind of
Give me
made
a
this
break,
place
Boston.
in order to teach other
I think I've got a handle on a couple
races
of
on
the
how
symbols,
to read their
but I have
language.
to test it out and see if it makes sense.
I'm thinking that maybe we should consider teaming up again.
Why? I think the answer to getting home is here in these displays. You go out and explore like you have been, and I'll work at getting us home. When I figure it out, I'll take you with me. No charge.
Yeah, see, she's like needlessly antagonistic, and I don't know why. Because like afterwards in the game, it kind of like the whole dynamic kind of like changes, and
I decided that has to
maybe
be
not in a
use the
good way
control.
as well.
Sometimes, if English comes up,
I don't know. It's like this is like more aimed at like the ending of the game. It's like a bit not that great, I guess. The ending is another like part of where like the game kind of like fades a little bit, because there's like technically two choices in the game that affect the ending, but at the end of the day neither of those matters. It just like slightly changes the ending a little bit, and not in a like very consequential kind of way. So there's like a
sure packs
a good ending and a bad ending in so far as there is one, but they are both like more or less like the same thing with like slight difference in one scene in that ending. So yeah,
that creature is beautiful. It has the appearance of a six-legged turtle. It makes me wonder if they have a common ancestor back on Earth, unless it's just a coincidence of parallel evolution.
so yeah, there's like a couple of things that we could be doing now, and one of them is to go test out those crystals that we just found. So yeah, you may remember that in the control center in the underwater chamber there was like a place with 3 slots where you could power things up, but unfortunately we only have like 2 crystals, so we need a way to find more. Now luckily I do know where you could find more, but the way is kind of blocked and you need help to get into. So the only help that we know about, since Maggie's being a pain, is by testing the revival crystals on Brink.
Who knows if this will even work? Even if these really are the same crystals I saw resurrecting an alien in that museum display, they weren't designed for humans. But it's worth a shot.
Well,
Brink, are you okay?
I feel fine. What happened?
You
I
died.
remember digging, and the ground gave way under me.
Brink, you've been dead for several hours.
So yeah, this like kind of like crosses over into like the fiction part of science fiction.
Americans, always exaggerating.
I assure you, Brink, no pulse, no breath, dead. But I found a couple of life crystals in a museum, and from a display there, I got an idea of how to use them.
Where's the crystal? I have to see it.
I wasn't sure it would work on a human being.
Our cellular structures must be very similar. Boston, it didn't just bring me to life. It brought me to life. I feel more powerful, more
like
energetic.
These poses are
more
not ominous
alive
at
than
all.
I've ever felt before.
Yeah, he's definitely not going crazy.
Maggie, do you read me?
yes, I do. I hope this is important.
I think so. Brink isn't dead anymore, Maggie.
You have a very sick sense of humor.
Oh.
Goodbye.
No, wait, I'm serious.
Deadly serious.
Brink! I can't believe it.
It was a crystal I found in the museum. The display there showed it bringing someone back to life. So I tried it.
A crystal that heals the dead. If we ever get back home, this will change the world.
No, it won't. We will see why
It'll change
in a bit.
everything.
It's not just being alive again, Maggie. I feel perfect. I feel like I never knew what good health was until today.
Now it's all the more important we find a way home.
It's always kind of important to me.
I guess.
Keep exploring, Boston. I'll get back to work on the language.
You got it, Maggie.
So remember, if not checking the Palmix loan, not trying to use. I never actually tried this, but on the plus side, we kind of like got a bit of help now for that one door. Although I'm not actually sure if okay, let me just like skip a little bit. I'm not actually sure like how you're supposed to like. I always like came here right after that. So
Brink, would you give me a hand with this?
You're using an alien tusk as a pry bar?
You got a better idea?
Sure.
it just helps you. Yeah, but I mean, if we don't come here and we like go solve the like the other puzzle like door, I don't know, he just like follows you around. I've never actually tried that. And we actually do need to get in here to get like, you know, more crystals, and also to get like the explosive that we need to use on the turtle. Yep.
That was the longest visit from a ghost yet.
No, it wasn't.
The whole display centered on this basin. It's full of crystals. Are these the life crystals? Like the one you used to bring me back to life?
They look like it.
Then it couldn't be more clear. These life crystals are the reason they brought us to this world.
Uh-huh. Well, in a way, he's right, but...
They have found the secret of life, and they want to share.
This place what you mentioned about Eric Halcombe hoarding?
Weren't you watching, Brink? I don't care what language you speak, that ghost shaped itself like a skull. It was warning us. These crystals are dangerous.
It was the symbol of death, Lo. These crystals are the antidote for death. That's what it meant.
That's the rationalization of the year.
Did you think of that?
The side effect is that I feel better than I ever felt before. If you had used a life crystal on yourself, your mind would also be as clear as mine. And you'd see that there is nothing more important than getting these crystals and using them.
Yeah, and here's the addiction.
Brink, I think you're wrong.
Oh, deadly wrong.
I think we need to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
These aliens are kind and good, Commander. They have given us a gift.
Yeah? Well, if this is all so perfect, where are these aliens?
Maybe they've moved on to a higher plane of existence.
Oh, isn't that the truth? I mean,
or maybe they're all dead.
See how badly your brain is working. How could they be dead? They invented these life crystals. Commander, I feel sorry for you.
Mm-hmm.
Still tied down by an ordinary mind and ordinary fears.
I wonder if there's like something to do with like Brink's kind of like competitive personality and kind of like superiority complex.
I'm taking as many of these crystals as I can carry.
That kind of like made him go psychotic like this.
Well, I'm gonna take some for study back on Earth. I'm just not gonna use them.
But you will, Commander.
You will. So now we have 4. And this is the explosive
canister.
device that we saw on the
Didn't I see a
thingamajig.
picture of something like this in one of the museum displays?
Mm-hmm.
Brink. Never mind.
So let's see. I actually don't remember if there's like an interaction between Brink and like Maggie. There we go. There is.
Yes?
Robbins. Brink is alive again.
Oh, no.
I can't believe it.
I can't either. I sure hope he's the same person.
How could a crystal bring the dead back to life?
I'm no expert on it, but I once talked to a forensic examiner, and she told me that even in the short time Brink was dead, irreparable damage happens to the body's cells.
In the short time Brink was dead.
Especially the brain cells.
Really?
He doesn't seem to have forgotten anything.
Makes you wonder if maybe memories are stored somewhere else, and the brain is only the data retrieval system.
Yeah, it's kind of like another weird like thing
What do you
that
mean?
they mentioned.
Stored somewhere else.
She's gonna talk about like the collective
Not
subconscious.
even in the body. Think about it.
Now they feel sort of artificial. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's kind of like a very weird kind of what's it called?
Brink.
What? Why am I talking to Brink
Never
from
mind.
there? What? There we go. It does feel a bit like weird, the way that the sentence is kind of like structured, but yeah, you know, fair enough. So what was I meant to be doing now? There we go. Spit.
Gross. Hey, Brink.
Yep. Okay.
Do you think...
So we do actually need to
Brink?
bring Brink to here, so he like it triggers
Brink?
like him like
Where are
running
you?
off.
Brink, answer me.
PDA.
Brink, can you hear me? Where are you?
Maggie? Brink's run off. He wasn't acting very rational when we found a big supply of life crystals. I'm afraid maybe those things are addictive. Or they altered his personality or something.
Yeah,
A
this is
ghost
also
tried to
something
warn
that
us,
I
but Brink was
kind of like
feeling
felt
too
weird
cocky
to
to
me.
listen to good
They
advice.
gloss it over like a lot more.
Just when this place starts looking benign, it finds new ways to be dangerous.
Anyway, I'm going on without him. I can't think of anything else to do.
I'll try to contact him now and then, see if he's willing to talk.
Thanks, Maggie. I'm beginning to take this personally. Nobody wants to stay with me. Maybe it's my deodorant. I think it failed somewhere back there on Attila.
So yeah, like the idea here is that we need to restructure the turtle, kind of like with the like fossil that we saw before. Try building the turtle wrong a couple of times. I mean, I just like rather be done with it, if I'm being honest. Let's see, this goes here. This goes here, I think. No, hold on. It's like the... it's like this. Or not. God, I'm always like so bad at this. Because like this? No, like this. Okay, and then there's like a bit that goes in there somewhere. No. No, hold on, because this goes, I think, like this. No. Like this? Was it like this and then it's like, I think it went like this somehow, right?
You just need a little something to make you complete, my friend.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, you can totally like put it together in like the totally wrong way, and then use a crystal to revive it, and it looks incredibly gross. It's like begging to be killed. But yeah, the trick is that it won't actually let you. It won't actually let you put the explosive in if you.
Boom.
If you haven't put it like together in like the right way. And now we can access another little bit under here.
Now that the water's safe for swimming, I think it's time to see what's in that underwater cave.
Yep. Getting it right the first time, playing it wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's not like the first time I've played this game though, right? That's kind of like the important distinction here. So yeah, this leads us to another plate, another rod.
Another engraving.
And it's kind of like one of the major puzzles in the game, I guess.
Nice view.
So there's like something also.
These objects.
Okay, that's like another like interesting thing is like the rods that are supposed to have codes for the doors are like tilted on like the right side, while the control rod that has like the 5 sticks, which you actually need to use as a key, is tilted like the left on like the left. Low, getting frustrated. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is that, but I mean, I've already like wasted a lot of time just kind of like reminiscing about everything, so I thought it might be like better to not, you know, waste time with like every little like interaction. So let's see, if I remember correctly, this is the orange door, I think. There's like 3 blue cubes and 1 blue. It's actually like the worst puzzle because you have to cycle through everything to the blue, which is like the last color in the sequence. You know, the way I would do it is I would like have it rotate through the shapes and have like another button below that controls what color it is. Time to ponder about life. Yeah. Isn't this great? But yeah, like I would totally have like a small button below each of these positions that swaps through the colors, so you could at least like get like maybe like a few less clicks, I guess. It's like this. This is like the code, right? Oh no, it's like a. So maybe it's like this one. So green triangle, red rhombus, and red hexagon and green hexagon. Let's see, green triangle. And so this one's actually like easy. Go like red. Yeah, there we go. And the third one was a red rhombus. One more? No? Wait, it's not this one either? Oh, whoops. My bad. So yeah, this should be it. Green, green, red, green. Wait, hold on. No, it's correct. Yeah, it wasn't this one either. Oh no, I have to go through the entire thing now again. I wish you could with the right click you could go back a shape, but that's not actually a thing you can do either. So it's not this one, huh? Yeah, okay. So this one's Oh, you wrote it? Yeah, no worries. I mean... Oh, shit, I went one too far. Now I have to cycle through again. See, this is why this is not a good puzzle. Or at least, not a good design for a puzzle. The idea is nice. Using, shapes and colors for, to set, the passwords. But the execution sucks. Is it? No, it's not it either. Oh, never mind. Sorry. It's one. There we go. So now we get access to the second spire. It was good for 1996. I don't know. Again, the idea is fine, but the execution slightly sucks. Might as well just get this one open as well. So this is 3 blue cubes, I guess, and I guess 1 blue rhombus. Don't remember anyone complaining back then. I mean, I wouldn't know. I the internet wasn't quite the thing back then, but I do remember finding this annoying back then as well. If that kind of helps my case a little bit. There we go. So I think this one leads to the mausoleum, I want to say. I also think the other one. Oh, where did the other one go? To the waterfall area, I think. It's actually, by the way, the interesting thing is each of the tram rides has its own animated sequence. It's such a cool thing. Okay, this goes to the the cliffs. Yep.
That should be an Olympic event. I know I'd get at least...
This is the annoying part. So the puzzle here, and this took me forever to figure out last time, is to actually jump as soon as the tide comes up so that you like get carried over. There we go. It's like such a weird puzzle.
First time I ever did the wave all by myself.
Yeah, not a very good puzzle either. I mean, you kind of like get the like the audio representation, so that's kind of okay. But again, timing puzzles I never really liked in games. Oh, can't open it. Never mind. We need to pry it open, I think.
I can't use these two things together. It won't do anything. I can't. That should have turned on another bummer. I guess when you abandon machine.
Oh, hold on.
Just needs a.
There you go. That's like the second. Yep. It's like the second light bridge activated. Also, no! Don't close the door, jerk! How very.
The way things have been going, I can pretty much bet that whatever that little beast just stole, I'm gonna want it really badly in a minute.
It's like an amusing kind of thing.
The last time I was small enough to get into a cave that size.
So yeah, we actually, I think we need Brink for this. Like we get him to stick his hand in it or something. Like he got mad at the rat. Yeah.
A place for everything?
Okay, so we need to use the pole. So I think we're like actually meant to make like a trap here, as far as I remember. I need to.
That doesn't fit here. I can't use these two things together. It won't do. That doesn't fit here.
Wait, where was I supposed to put this? I think we need to like get the rib cage to make a.
Scavengers have picked these ribs clean, but the animal can't. The hook won't support.
Let's see. This puzzle kind of reminded me of Broken Swords.
That doesn't fit here.
What's it called? Like the goat.
It won't do
puzzle?
anything. It won't do anything. I can't.
Oh yeah, we need to pick up the dowel to kind of like make a small like thing for it to get supported.
A short
on.
metal dowel.
To get
There's
the pan.
something.
Yep. Okay. Didn't get that stuck in the goat puzzle.
A thin metal plate with a button.
No, I don't have to. I did a lot. Like movement-based puzzles weren't really a thing in point-and-click games at that time, and like you can kind of like see why, because it's kind of hard to figure what you need to do without trial and error. So yeah, now I can kind of like make it stick on the dowel. Yep. And I can also make a small cage for it. And I think if I come this way...
The last time I was...
No.
There's something... A lot of useless... The last time... The pen fits.
So how did you do this? Did you actually... Is this like the one where you need to like get the Brink to... What was it like with the flashlight?
I can't use these two things together. Judging by the chattering noises coming from this...
I don't remember how you're supposed to do this. God. Okay, we've actually used these two as well, so let's like move them down there. Oof. Why do I think you need to bring Brink here and like get him to stick his hand in it? Oh, never mind. This is like the bit where he sticks his hand in the crevice.
Yeah, right. Like I'm gonna... There's a glow coming from inside the... It won't... The last... I can't use the... Sorry, friend, but your little house is about to get a big front door. That looks big enough to squeeze through. It's the critters. It's the crit... It's the...
Oh, that's right. We also need the rod to prop it up.
Here, kitty, kitty. Okay.
No.
A thin metal rod. If only I had some bait for this trap. But I'll just have to play sheepdog. There's something moving in here. A lot of you...
There we go.
Now I've got you. If I let you out, you'll head for the place where you hide nice shiny machinery parts. The only trouble is, how am I gonna follow you?
So let's see. I think...
There's a signal here, but I'm not getting a clear reading. It doesn't point in any direction.
So let's see if I remember. You need to... Oh, you know, I think I forgot something. Yep. Let's see, is it like a fast forward? Nope. So I think I was meant to kind of like dig something up somewhere that's kind of like a tracking device. And I didn't do that. I think it's like up on the surface. It's like kind of like one of the things that I always miss. It's kind of like the problem with like having replayed something to death, is that you get like a lot of like mixed memories, I guess, on like sequences and stuff. So yeah.
It seems to be pointing at this mound.
There we go.
With that device pointing at this mound, I suspect there might be something buried here.
And this is like probably one of those things
like
that you would totally miss. Like if you like played this game for the first time, because it's not like exactly clear what that like orb thing does until you kind of like go in your inventory and try and use it. No, wait, we don't need to be here yet. Come on, scroll. Damn you, letterbox. It's like this one? No, hold on. This one.
I can't use these two things together. I can't use these two things together. Go, little creature. Roam free, wherever your thieving little heart desires. A thin... It's got to be right under here. This is where the tracker's pointing. What if I hadn't brought this shovel along?
Stop.
No,
like,
it's not worth thinking about.
Stop, like, drawing attention to other things that may or may not have happened.
The critter sure didn't like that.
I mean, you just like
took
dug
off
up
down
its
one
house.
of his tunnels. Now maybe I can get the door open. Well, here's his nest.
Okay, let's see. Can do this, right?
Now, with any luck, this will work. Now let's get this thing closed up and see if it works. Open sesame.
It works. No more puzzles required. Let's see, is another rod, another plate.
Another one of these engraved sticks.
It's like the last one that we need, right?
The scepter seems to have an electrical charge.
I don't actually remember what this
This plate
is
on the
about.
wall is movable.
How did it go after this bit? I'm just like really trying to remember. I think we can now energize the thing here, like the command center, I guess.
I can't reach it. That won't fit. That won't fit.
No, never mind. Let's see. So what was the... I think we need to like put them all in the correct height for the crystal to get like as bright as possible. Like this. No. There we go.
It's where all the crystals meet. It's where all the crystals meet. It's where all the crystals meet. It won't accomplish anything.
So what did we do here after this? Huh.
It's an energized. It's an energized crystal.
Oh wait, that's right. This is like what powers the trams. That's like for the last door where the tram doesn't activate. I think it's like the one that we opened before. The one that I said I don't need to be in here just now. Oh. Also, it's kind of interesting that you can actually deactivate all of those if you want to. Let's see, I think it's like this one. Or not. No, it's not this one. Go back. Let's see. You can like totally put the third panel in as well.
It won't. I can't use the shallow indentation.
Okay. It's like this one? Yeah, it's this one. So normally, if I had come here and tried to activate the button, like I would hear like a kind of like hollow noise, but it wouldn't actually like get the tram here because the power was off. And this, I think, takes us to the tomb area. Let's see. Yeah. This is also where Brink is, and this is like the tree that we saw on the...
I can't move this thing with my bare hands. It's half... Let's see if this plate can be moved.
There we go.
Could this be some sort of burial chamber?
It is.
It's a roughly carved hole in the wall. It won't accomplish anything.
So this was kind of like another point where I kind of like got stuck back in the day because I didn't really think that the rod
that should hold it.
Could like hold it down. It's kind of annoying.
It's a roughly carved hole in the wall. What purpose could this have had? I can't use these two things together.
So which was it?
It won't accomplish.
I think we may need to come back later to this. Yeah, okay, it's not active.
Uh-oh. Looks like the warranty must have run. Just need... Okay, so... If at first... It's...
Okay, that's not it. Oh wait, is
If
this
it...
the one where you need to open the panel to like no, never mind, it's not this one. So it's like I remember there's like one where you kind of need to open the panel and kind of like play a little mini game to rewire everything, I guess.
Here you are, Brink.
There we go. You jerk.
You haven't been answering.
Nope.
I was busy. Trying to concentrate
so it's
on
like
my
a
work.
fun
I don't have time for interruptions.
It's like a fun kind of like
in other words, you want me
detail.
to go
If
away.
you check his sprite, it actually starts
Those
getting
are the
grayer
right
and
words.
grayer.
Go away.
If you see his skin tone is like a lot different than like Boston's
This looks
one.
like some pretty badly deteriorated machinery. Brink. With all your newfound brilliance, Brink, can you make any sense out of this?
I don't have time to analyze every meaningless bit of debris you pick up and carry around with you, Commander Lowe.
Yeah. You jerk.
I'm worried that these...
The only side effect is the envy of people who haven't used them.
Have
Wow.
you used more of them?
Their effect on health and intelligence increases with each use.
Have you seen what you look like,
What about
dude?
their effect on sanity?
These life crystals are the most important technology ever created. They are the answer to everything.
Yeah.
This looks like some pretty badly deteriorated machinery.
Also, here's like another interesting detail. You can kind of like see the like the spaceship in the the distance, I guess. So I don't actually remember what I need to do here. I do remember that at some point you can kind of like use this to make a kind of want to say like a solar eclipse. But I just don't remember. I don't even remember what you do with this, if I'm being honest.
It won't accomplish any...
Museum Spire, Tomb Spire. So yeah, the more you kind of explore stuff, you can kind of like like the spires like get names. I don't actually remember what the other spire is called, but you do get to like get the names of all of them eventually. It's like the tomb. I think it might be like the waterfall spire or something like that. I don't really remember, if I'm being honest. And there's like still one door that we haven't been through. Let's see, I think it's like this way. There we go. Green square, blue triangle, blue square. Let's see, blue pyramid. There we go. A bit more. It's like blue cube, the other one, right? Yeah, blue cube and then green, like. Come on, one more. No. Oh, you know, this one isn't... Shit. Ah! Why did I click that? God damn it. Now I have to cycle through all of them over and over again. Fun. Actually meant to open the inventory, if I'm being honest. But this one is not the... Yeah. It's another one that needs to, like, go all the way around. Green, green. Two more. One more. There we go. And I think that's about it for like all the combination locks in the game. Also, yeah, here's like a fun fact. This sequence of trams actually reminded me of what's it called? Wait. Where's the exit to this? Ah, there we go. Ledge. Like the tram system in this always reminded me a lot of Riven, the sequel to Myst.
A kind of light that's just on the edge of existence.
Because in that one there was also like these gondolas that went like between islands.
A kind of light that's just on the edge of existence. I can't use these two things together.
Oh, actually, a bit sleepy. I think this might be the one where the panel needs to be rewired. Okay, hold on.
Another broken light bridge.
Yeah.
Just needs a... Another... Okay. Another broken... It still must be something... If at first... So this is what's in the guts of these machines.
Yep. I think you're like kind of like meant to make it all refract in like the middle, so that it would kind of like redirect each color correctly. So let's see. Let's go with like the red. It's like this. No, because I think you need to make it like refract into all of them. This goes like this then.
Pretty impressive for someone who never took a class in alien physics.
Alright, with the funny one. Yay! more to go. But in the meantime, there's some other things that need to be done. Let's see, if I remember correctly, these kind of like take these passwords, right? Actually forgetting a little bit. Green square, blue. Well, yeah, I mean, fair enough. So we need like a blue pyramid here, right? Like this, and now a blue cube again. And a green hexagon.
Amazing map system. You don't even have to refold it when you're done.
So I don't actually remember what like the purpose of this is. I think it's kind of like meant to give you like hints on like what you still need to do in each like spire.
This place is as creepy as the forest behind my house when I was a kid.
Yep. So we do actually need to unplug this grate somehow.
It looks like a grate. It looks like... It won't do anything.
So what did we need to do here?
Water is pouring through that hole at a tremendous rate. Water is pouring through that hole at a tremendous...
Never thought about. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, that's kind of like the joke, I guess, right?
I can't use these two things. It looks like a grate. It looks like a grate sealing something off.
Okay, so how do we...
I can't use these two things together.
How do we move the grate? Like, there's like a way to unplug it, but I just don't remember how. Museum tram, map tram, tomb tram. So this will only open if we will get like all 4 plates. That's like for a bit later. Okay, so this is like the spire that we haven't actually named yet.
Yeah, right. Like I'm gonna...
Oh, there we go. Okay. So we kind of try to simulate a total eclipse. Okay, and I think this one controls the rotation of this. Oh no, never mind, it's like on this side. We kind of need to simulate a double eclipse, I guess. Go like this.
Perhaps it's this. It's a depiction of the large... It's the ceiling. It's...
No.
It depicts... Perhaps it's this planet.
Let's see, how did we need to do it? It's like the light source is over here. So...
It's the ceiling of the dome. It depicts a planet and it's... Perhaps it... It's a depiction of the largest moon. It's a
So how was it? So yeah, I'm almost certain that you kind of need to simulate like a an eclipse. There we go, see?
I thought that moon was in a synchronous orbit. What could have caused the moon to move?
I mean, duh.
It's an enormous moon.
So yeah, we kind of like need to line them up in such a way that they illuminate the tree, I guess. It's kind of like the most tedious thing is like having to go back and forth to, you know, fix stuff. I think you need to go like this.
It's the ceiling of the dome. It's the ceiling. It's the ceiling.
Like, I'm not sure if this did it. I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be like a kind of like a cutscene when you solve the thing. To inspire. Oh, this is kind of like close, I guess. Oof.
It's a roughly.
Okay, let's see. There's like some way to do this, right?
It's the ceiling. It's the.
Okay, this might be it. I'm gonna be honest, I remember a lot less about this game than I thought I did. There we go. Oh, wait. Oh no, the small moon needs to be in front of the large moon. Ah, that was stupid. Come on, back we go. One more time. Ha! Okay. So we do get like a cutscene when that happens.
No! Why is that door closing? He didn't steal that part again, did he? I'm trapped in here?
Uh-oh.
Ha! The control.
I wonder why this was supposed to be for like a fake out, I guess, to kind of like freak you out momentarily.
The larger moon is being eclipsed by the small. What a... That should... How do you keep an Earth? This stone is some sort of trigger. That should hold it. I can't use it. It's a roughly carved hole in the wall. What purpose could this have had? I can't use these two things together. It won't accomplish anything. Scavengers have picked these ribs clean, but the...
Yeah.
It's a... It won't accomplish... The lar...
Wait, what? Where the hell did he come from? That's weird.
This looks like some pretty... Brink. I found a... When we... You remember Earth?
You're doing very
Blah,
well,
blah,
Commander
blah.
Lowe. By all means, go find the rest of the metal plates. Go quickly.
No.
Go now.
I'm worried that...
Yeah, I've been through
What about...
this one before.
These... With all... Maggie's work...
Then...
Maggie... Okay.
I'm fine. I've never felt...
But we're just...
I am...
I don't know what you're doing right now, Brink. But those ghosts said things they...
But I'll never...
Well, I think this is probably it for today, if I'm being honest. Because it's kind of like getting late, and I don't think I'm gonna finish in the next 30 minutes or so. So I think this is probably like good enough to maybe like get like another stream tomorrow, I guess. When I'm just like thinking a bit more straight as well, because I am a bit tired. So yeah, let me just go back to webcam while I look if anyone else is around. So let's see. Which following? I don't think anyone. Yeah. No one is live that I could be raiding. So instead I'm going to just like call it for tonight, and yeah. Hey, lanterns, welcome. GG. Yeah, something like that. But hey, welcome. How's it going? How are we doing? Yeah, it's getting a bit late. It's like midnight here already, like a bit after that. So yeah, let's finish this tomorrow. I'm like, I think I'm like more than halfway through the game anyway, so should be like maybe another couple of hours until we finish this tomorrow, and we can get started on probably Chrono Cross on Saturday afternoon if I do get to stream. But yeah, in the meantime, have a very, very pleasant evening. Hope you enjoyed me gushing about this game all the time. And all like the weird trivia that I could remember about it. And I will see you around tomorrow. Yeah, have a good rest of the day or night.